2, 1. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I'm glad we finally got I suck at scheduling, and I'm sorry.
Everyone's busy, bro.
I need to get better at it, but it's a pleasure to see you guys.
Yeah, man. You too. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks. We're here to tell the stories that Leroy and Nick forgot.
We're here to debunk all their lies.
Yeah, exactly.
About how you make a lot of the decisions in the band.
Everything they said, false. Not really. That was actually really entertaining to watch both those episodes.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. No, they're cool dudes, man. And it's funny how I met Nick because he goes to the same gym that I do.
At Legion?
Yeah, and I just see this hulking gorilla bench pressing like 4 plates. I'm like, you can have fun with that, bro.
That dude's a fridge. I was thinking about that on the way over here for some reason. I was like, if Nick really trained super hard for like a year and gained weight, that dude could like bench press a car probably.
Oh yeah, he'd be like the Ben Shaws or the dude out of fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The Mountain.
Yes.
Yeah, he would, huh? He's a big, burly guy, like for real. I've known Nick for like 10 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah, me and Nick go back the farthest probably out of any of these guys. And these guys all go back farther. But me and Nick, I've known Nick since we were like 14.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
So did all of this come out of like going to high school together and then going to college?
Not at all.
Okay, so how did you two meet?
That's funny too. So we were dating sisters. So
Yeah.
that sounds wrong. Not like that. Not like that.
Yeah. It wasn't that. Yeah.
That did sound wrong.
So
well, that's true though.
Yeah. So his girlfriend, I was dating her sister.
Yeah.
And then Toby just kind of like showed up one day, whatever. And then, I kind of knew about him from like high school and stuff. He was a year younger than me.
Yeah.
And then,
me and Nick are both a year younger than the rest of the band.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we played football together. So me and Nick knew each other. And then we, like we all knew of each other, but weren't like friends.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like that was a good pairing. Like Leroy and Nick for sure. But me and Toby, we like vibe for sure.
Yeah.
From like the first time I met him. Like, so I feel like.
We have some
This is
funny.
a solid
We go
pairing.
back to some funny stories for sure.
Yeah.
I had like the only method I had in doing this was like, well, I saw you guys live, and
Yeah.
that Marble show was dope on
Thanks,
all ends.
bro.
It was
Thank you.
dope. I want you guys to know that was a great fucking show.
Yeah. I think that was like our best show.
It was-
honestly.
I feel like it was.
Phenomenal. Really?
Yeah. It was like
We brought it.
you could tell you were there. The energy in the air was just different.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then that fucking wedding party showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The trolley too.
And packed
was
out
like-
an already packed house.
Yeah.
Great.
Because it was already going great.
Yeah.
We were looking at each other. We were vibing on stage. We could tell it was tight. And then that trolley pulled up. And we were like, what the hell is going on?
I didn't
and
even
they
see
were
a trolley
lit.
pull up.
You didn't even see it?
No.
It was like a big old looked like a double-decker bus, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then they just were lit.
Yeah.
It just got better. It was cool.
I don't know how I missed that. I'm always all in the zone, so now we look at the people right in front of me and
Yeah.
stuff, and like just connecting.
No,
with them.
we look at each other.
Oh yeah. Give me
So,
the sex
Oh,
eyes.
yeah.
Speaking of which, I have some of the best concert footage I've ever seen in my fucking life of you.
Of Zach?
Yeah, when you're just going hard as fuck.
Just looking,
that.
is his shirt off?
No, it's when a member of the audience handed him a garment of their clothing.
Oh.
Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Because they threw it up to you and then it fell off and they gave it back.
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was right next to you. I should have remembered this.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, I still didn't see it. Oh, that's awesome. And we were just going nuts.
Yeah. So
Zach's
like,
just cheesing.
I know it looks like it was just some like random person. So that was actually my girlfriend. She brought
Oh, okay.
panties and
That makes a lot more
she
sense.
threw them at me
Okay.
while I was on stage, and then the sound guy loved it. He thought it was hilarious.
Carlos?
Yeah. So he like grabbed him and put him on my bass and stuff.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah, that makes it even better. That's
Yeah.
just some random chick like,
I
okay,
know,
we're
right?
back in the 80s.
You're like, wow, these guys are really making it.
Yeah.
They're really doing it.
And that's cool. It's like part of the stage antics and stuff that
Yeah.
we try to do, like high energy and
Yeah.
having someone do something like that. The people around loved it. They
Oh,
were just
yeah.
like that because it gives like that illusion or whatever.
Yes.
And it's that thing, but
Like, hey, babe, listen. All right, you're gonna go halfway through the show. This is what you're gonna do.
Yep.
You can help pay the bills.
No
all
one's
right.
gonna know, man. No one's gonna know.
yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
But no, seriously, you guys put on a really good show, and it's funny because the way I wanted to do the scheduling, it was like, well, I see these two together, I see these two in the center, and then these two on the far left or your far
so
right.
that's why you
that's
chose to do it like
yeah,
that. That makes
that's
sense.
the only reason. I was like, yeah, because you guys pair well together on stage. Like I could tell you,
We have
you're
eye sex the whole
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, we'll do like the back to back thing and stuff. Like we'll be back to back, like playing our parts.
I actually really do like being. We do like being on stage together. Like we're all in a certain spot for a reason.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
It's
No
nice.
shit.
Yeah.
It's all methodical.
Yeah, because at first, when I joined the band, I was barely learning guitar. So I've only been playing for a couple years, and so Zach had already had some practice on the stage and had good stage presence. He could move around. I was more focused on playing. You know what I mean? But now like just watching Zach for so long. Like now we're rocking out together, and it's like fun to be on that side of the stage together.
That's sick.
Johnny's on his side with Room, and he does like this crazy like move where he like does like this like spear move with his guitar and like runs around the stage like a crazy person.
Actually, he does crunches while standing up.
Yeah, pretty much. He like charges with his guitar, and he hits us
That
sometimes.
dude's out of control, and he like
funny,
doesn't
though.
pay attention to his surroundings at all. So it's good just to have him isolated. Me and Toby kind of try to. Yeah. But that's originally kind of how it was. Like Toby, we always make fun of him because he would just stand there and just smile, because that's all he has to do. He just sits there and just smiles. We're like, dude, you gotta like move around a little bit. So now I try to do it to try to get his energy up.
Yeah. Well, now I can. At first though, I just needed to play it right. I was like, okay, I don't have enough practice yet.
Yeah.
But now it's been a few years. We're really comfortable on stage now, and it's like nice. At first, I was tense for sure.
Yeah. So when did you guys start hitting that groove where it's like, yeah, I have learned I've got the technique. I also got like the songs down. But like, how far along do you think that took you guys? Where it's like I can now be like with more flair.
It took me up until pretty recently, so about a year and a half. Just because, like, I was just learning guitar when I joined the band. I was pretty green.
Couldn't tell.
Oh, thanks.
Not tell.
I've made a lot of improvement now. Yeah. But at the time, I felt a little stiff. But, we know our set. We've played it so many times now, bro. Like, we've played so many shows this summer.
Yeah.
We drilled practice this summer. I think that's why everyone got a little burnt out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for me, that was it. I don't know about Zach.
I know there was, like, at the beginning, our first show we ever played, it was at Moonlight. All of us, we were literally turned away from the crowd, like facing the back wall and stuff, because we had never played in front of a crowd. We didn't know how to like have that energy, and it literally takes practice. Like we would try jumping around and doing that stuff at practice, because it takes so much coordination. It's crazy. Like when you're like doing your chords and trying to remember the song progression and jumping around at the same time. Mm-hmm. But now, so my thing is when we play a show, if the next day my neck isn't like absolutely sore, I didn't give it my all.
You didn't go hard enough?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But people love it. Like, that's one of the things they always say about us is how we are on stage. Like, our stage presence is such a big aspect to our performances. But
well, because I've been to a whole lot of local shows, but a few that I've been to, like, you know, a few of the bands, it's like they knew how to play. They were competent. They were
great musicians.
like technically sound, exactly. Yeah. Great musicians, but they didn't have the confidence to display their art. And if you're off-putting, the audience is going to be off-put. It's like, well, like, I don't know if I want to be here if they don't want to be here.
If you aren't feeling it, they're not feeling it.
Exactly.
Shout out to Leroy. That's Leroy's quote. It's written on his whiteboard at home.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. But the one who, like, straight from the jump, when he joined, Nick was the last one to join the band. Yeah. I was second to last.
If you want to come a little closer to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. You can kick it out if you want. These are durable as hell, dude.
Cool. Is that okay right there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Okay. Nick was the last to join the band, and I was second to last. But Nick had been playing drums for like 8 years. So when Nick joined the band, like his energy was already nuts right away. I remember when he first joined the band, there's the song that they had before I even joined the band called Drugs I Took.
Yeah.
And that song in the recording, it's just the way it is. And then Nick joined, and right away he hit this crazy drum fill, high energy. And I just remember we all looked at each other like, what the fuck? Like, this is going to freaking work.
that dude blew our mind.
Yeah,
because it was Toby's idea to bring him in because we just needed a new drummer. So Nick came in, smashed his rehearsal. Like, it was rehearsal. He didn't really know it. But we were kind of like filling him out, jamming with him.
Yeah.
That dude blew us all away.
He's like you said, he's a huge dude.
Yeah.
So he beats the shit out of the drums.
He's like fucking Donkey Kong.
Yeah. He's like are you familiar with Led Zeppelin?
Oh yeah.
So he's like John Bonham.
He's like Bonham.
He's like
yeah.
a big. He plays with like sticks, you know, like or like trees, whatever they call them. He called them trees, I think, instead of sticks. You know what I mean? Because he's such a big dude. He just brings power.
He put a hole in his snare.
Nice.
He was going to just rip through it. We had to be done for the day for practice.
That dude's always been strong.
Yeah.
I know. I was listening to the podcast today when you guys were talking about lifting and like asking about like if he was like on anything or anything.
Yeah.
That dude's been strong since he was like 14. Like just stupid strong. Like the first kid to be benching 225. The first kid to be squatting 315. Like, you know, no one even has any facial hair or nothing. This dude's just strong as fuck. And it's probably the Italian shit.
Maybe. He's Italian?
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
It's all the fucking pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would eat that a lot. So I mean.
A lot of pasta.
Yeah. I mean a lot. Yeah. Seriously, that dude's always just been strong as hell.
Well, that's what's like surprising to me that he was natural was because. You know, when you start saying something like I'm eating 2,000 calories a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not even from a point of, you know, I'm on gear to build muscles. Like you're on gear to jack up your metabolism.
Right.
Like that's just bananas to me. So how long have you been playing music? So if you had just started, you know, getting green with it when you joined the band, like what was your history beforehand? And I'm just going to check the cameras and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I started so Johnny went to Australia, and he went to some weird like hippie festival out there, and they gave him a guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take them back the whole origin story.
Yeah, this is probably like 2000.
Because you have a side of the origin story and I have a side of it.
Yeah. So this was like 2016. So he comes back and he has this guitar and he's like, let's go to the mountains. Like, I'll tell you guys all about my trip. And yeah, so we go to the mountains. It's like 1:00 in the morning and we decide just to hike up this mountain with the guitar and a speaker. And we're like blasting Jimi Hendrix, like going up this mountain, just like going through it psychologically up to the top of the mountain. And we get up there and he just starts like showing some stuff he learned on the guitar.
Like basic chords.
Yeah, like because he started learning out there. And then he just handed it to me. He's like, you should try it. I was all right. So I like started playing a couple things. Like I didn't know how to play, but I was just messing with it. And then I was like, dude, this is sick. And while we're up there, it's like 3 a.m. at this point. We're all, let's start a band. When we like,
and this is 2016?
Yeah, like 2016. So,
wow.
So, or probably, 2016 sounds right. So then the next day we all like debrief on the whole like camping trip and everything. Like just wanted to talk about it. And we're like, we should really like start a band though. We should really try to do that. So me and Johnny both learned guitar at the same time to like actually start this thing. So yeah, really I've been playing since 2016. We learned instruments to start the band.
I didn't know the mountain story. I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
Like I knew that Nevin and Johnny went to Australia and learned guitar. I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Yeah, it was me, Johnny, and Gino. And
really?
My cousin was there, but
which cousin?
Derek.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He just slept in the car the whole time though while we went over the mountain, so he wasn't down. But yeah.
But like when did you guys actually like start getting together at the Harvard house and like practicing?
Well, we would get together at my parents' house. So Johnny would just come over and we would like learn random songs.
Like riff together.
Yeah, we would just like learn. So we really started off playing like most people learned right like by themselves. We were introduced to the band setting or the group setting right away. So then we just started like recruiting people. I mean, I'm probably getting a little ahead of it.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you guys.
Yeah.
I have a different perspective because I watched you guys before I joined.
Yeah.
Which is cool to me.
Yeah. Well, okay, so like.
But we had our own little music experiences together, not related to the band at all.
Yeah.
At the time, I was just talking about he was learning guitar, like back 2016, 2017. Mm-hmm. I remember that. That's when we were dating the sisters. And I remember he had this acoustic guitar that had all the notes, had stickers of all the notes on the fretboard. It looked like a cluttered fucking mess.
Yeah, it was all rainbows.
Yeah. Like, at this time, I didn't play any instruments. I had interest in it, but like I wasn't trying to play any instruments. But I remember him having that guitar all the time. He'd bring it to like family events, camping trips, and at the time I was making beats. So we would like vibe on music and like bands and shit. But not anything related to a band. We never thought like, we're going to be in a band together. We would just be like, hey, bro, check out this beat. We go to my car. I play him some shitty beat.
He would take me to his car.
It's like terrible.
The sound's better in my car, I swear.
Yeah, exactly. Like seriously. And then he'd be like, hey, look at this shit I learned on guitar with all your stickers. And it'd be shitty too. We just were like, and then one time we were in Indiana with our girlfriends' families.
Yeah.
And we like spent like 3 hours at they had like this keyboard. We were just sitting there like making beats on the keyboard forever.
Probably being so annoying. They're just like, we're like 20 and 19.
Maybe 19, 18.
Just all being weird on like a kid's keyboard.
Yeah, we were trying to make beats. We thought we were so sick.
Yeah.
We sucked ass on music.
Well, you have to suck.
You have to suck for a long time, bro.
You have to suck.
Anything.
Yes, like not that I'm proficient, but like I've rewatched every now and then. I've gotten a little buzzed and rewatched like my first like 10, 15 episodes of this. Oh my God.
You have to not be scared to be shitty for a while.
Yeah.
Or else you'll never make progress. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with a book called The Growth Mindset?
No.
By Carol Dweck?
No.
Well, it's basically that concept.
Yeah.
It's like some people think that like you're just like born talented and like you're just sick and like other people aren't. That's just so fucking not true. It's like if you want to develop a skill at anything, right? You just have to suck for a while, get through that, and you're going to get the hang of it. It's different with everything, though. You know what I mean? Podcasting, music. Yeah. For me, I learned that in engineering school because I sucked ass at math. Seriously, I sucked ass. I failed college algebra my freshman year.
Same.
Really?
Same.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
Oh, my God.
And my advisor told me, she was like, you should switch majors right now because you have like 15 more math classes ahead of you. Like, you got to make it through Calc 3, bro, and you can't pass algebra.
She cared about your future, huh?
And I was like, that just pissed me off, though. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I can get good at this shit. So I just focused and practiced. So when it was time to learn guitar, I was like, well, I suck. I just got to focus and practice.
Well, there's a lot of people like that when they get told you can't do it. They're like, no, I'm okay. Now I have to do
Right.
it
Yeah.
to prove
You
this
take it
one
personal.
person wrong, right? They
Yes.
take it very personally.
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you.
Well, good. And then
Yeah.
where you are now.
If I would have quit, yeah, fuck that. You just like you have to suck at everything. It's like the gym too. Like you don't go from benching 135 to 315 in 4 months.
Yeah.
That's years of reps and failing, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It applies to everything. So we're all getting better at everything we're doing.
There's some videos of like even just our first few shows were just terrible, and I think Leroy and Nick kind of talked about that a little bit. There was that one Blue Grasshopper show. We thought we could do our own sound, botched it, and like ripped people's eardrums off. We probably gave 20 people tinnitus that night. But yeah, we failed plenty of times. There's a lot of stuff
So how many, that's actually interesting you bring that up. How much of your own like sound engineering and setup and all that shit do you have to do typically? Or does it like differ between venues?
It does differ. Oh, well, our participation in it doesn't really differ. There's always normally a sound guy.
Okay.
We've played a few shows. They're kind of like bootleg shows where we're like, we don't have sound, so we're just playing out of our amps.
Yeah.
And we have to just like look at each other and be like, turn up, turn down. We'll send Leroy or Nevin into the audience. They'll be like up, down, telling us to do that. But normally we have a good sound guy. Like Carlos at Marble that night. Yeah. That dude's cool, bro. I think
that dude's the best.
I think you would like him on your podcast.
Yeah, that's what they were saying too. Yeah.
Seriously, he just knows all the bands. He's been on the scene. But he was feeling good. He was a little buzzed from a wedding that night, and he told us that. He was like, I'm feeling good. And I was like, uh-oh.
You can tell with the lights, he starts doing the strobe thing. You're all, oh, this dude.
Yeah, but it sounded good. I mean, did you think it sounded good from where you were at?
Fuck yeah, it
like
did.
the mix, the vocals, guitars.
Even like standing right next to the speaker, it sounded good.
Nice.
And that's when it's usually distorted.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you should be hearing all bass, but you can even hear a clean mix there. So that guy's pretty damn good, for sure. We've had some shows, though, with some rough fucking sound.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing.
And it's cool because we could be picky now because we know the different engineers that are around the city now. It's like we choose where we play a lot based off of if we really did like the sound guy too and stuff. Like we'll play places more because, you know, they do their job very well. And it makes us sound great because we hate when we play a venue and our sound is completely like trashed because the person didn't know what they were doing. It makes us look so bad.
We had 2 shows. And I'm not going to name names or nothing, but we had 2 shows that were shit. And we thought we played good, but the sound was awful. And it was just like so defeating. We played this one show. I had family, like grandparents come up from Crucis and Hatch. And they watched that show, and the sound was awful. And I just felt so bad because it made us sound so like we sucked ass. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Well, I was going to say like that because that kind of blew my mind that they had brought that up in the first episode where you guys, it does not cost any money to be a part of the band anymore because of the money you guys bring in.
Oh, yeah.
And then you guys actually get to choose where you get to play at. How does that feel? That's got to feel fucking great, right?
It honestly does. I mean, we talk about that all the time. It's like, imagine if we were just like putting in all this work and playing no one. We'd still do it, but it would be defeating.
Right.
Yeah. So
and that's where Toby helped out a lot too because like when he came in, we were just splitting the money from each show. We were probably getting like maybe $200. So between 6 guys, like that's not a whole lot.
This
of
is
money
beer
for
money.
each of us. Yeah, that's what it would be gone in an hour because we go spend it at Anodyne. So then Toby was all, well, let's like make the money work a little bit better, and instead of just paying ourselves, just put it straight back into it. And
since then, we've reinvested every slum dollar back to the band, and now we're self-sufficient. Like, and I think that's a huge win for independent artists. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, yeah, sure, we don't make a shitload of like spending money, but we take every slum's dollar, and it pays for our recording, which is $1,000 every time we go. Seriously, we go and we record 2 songs at a time at Rio Grande Recording Studios. It's $1,000, right? Then we pay that money for cover art, investing in merchandise, photo shoots. What else? That's probably about it.
Yeah, I think that's about it that we spend.
The website.
Oh, yeah.
But still, music videos. That's a big one.
I'm going to help you out.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're perfect.
And music videos.
There you go.
But think about that. Like, we have not had to pay out of pocket for recording, music videos, cover art, or photography in almost a year and a half. That's a good win to me.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's from shows, dude.
Well, there's people that they have a project, like they're in a band or they're a solo artist. That never happens.
Yeah.
That never happens.
Right.
They stay the local SoundCloud rapper, and all respect to you for doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're still following your dream. You're having fun doing it. But at some point, you got to figure out like
How
when
to monetize.
Exactly. Well, how is this like financially just dragging me into the hole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's just insane that you guys did. So what was it like shooting your first music video?
It was fucking awesome, dude. Like that night was crazy.
The music video was a party, but that night actually was a party. Like,
Yeah.
we all had a blast.
So you've seen the All Night
Oh,
Long
yeah.
music video,
Yeah.
the party one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that one, dude, honestly, that's a cool question because that song was like the first song that I think all of us collectively were like, this is cool. Like we're proud of this. Whether it flops or does great, we're proud of this. We'll be happy we made this song.
It's a well-produced video. Good song. Great
Yeah.
song. But a very well-produced video.
Shout out to Kenny at Rio Grande because that song came out great. And then shout out to Dark Road Pictures. They shot that video. And they were badass, dude. Like they were
Dark
so
Road's
professional.
legit.
Yeah, they're so sick. So the guys who own Dark Roads, that'd be cool to have on the podcast too because they're doing They're filming Lil Wayne's concert in Rio Rancho soon.
Jesus Christ.
But sorry, not to get off track.
No, yeah.
The guys that own that company, their names are Mondo and Tomas. They're two Mondo's still a police officer. Tomas is retired, and they own that production company. They shoot all kinds of music videos, and they have like a legit Dark Roads truck full of so much freaking professional
It's got to
gear.
be like $1 million worth of
Yeah,
stuff in there.
it's ridiculous. I mean, top notch. They look like a movie set.
Oh, shit.
So they roll up in this truck, and they're unloading equipment for like 2 hours in our friend Miranda's backyard.
And they're building a track inside like an actual like
For the
train
camera
track.
dolly.
That's so sick.
It's nuts.
They take it seriously. Like
We
it's great.
we spent what? Well, me and Nevin probably spent days making a video script for that and like back and forth calls with those guys because they wanted to know to the T like a timestamp.
Well,
with
they
everything.
need that.
Yeah, and
I'm in film
to be
school
efficient.
now, and I'm learning all that
Exactly.
shit. And it's insane.
Yeah,
The amount of
man.
pre-production you have to do for something like that.
And
Yup.
they sync it to the actual song, so I feel like that's got to be a pain, like making sure
Yeah, the editing.
everything's synced right to their lips and all that.
But then we spent another couple hours unloading all their equipment. Then we spent 7 hours shooting that video.
Oh, my God.
We spent 7 hours shooting a 3-minute video.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude, it was ridiculous. And like, so we had to shoot us walking in the door 15 times. Then we had to shoot us
Right.
walking down the hallway 100 times. Then we just shoot the backyard performances 1,000,000 times. And then it started just getting like we're shooting whatever we want because like everyone's tired and fucked up.
Yeah.
So like that's when Zach does his backflip into the pool. And
I
right,
think
it was
that one was
backflip.
James. Yeah, that one was James.
Oh, James does the backflip, but
Yeah.
he hit you in the face.
God, I got my ass beat.
He broke
that
a tooth.
night.
He broke a tooth that night.
Jesus
He was on his amp and he fell.
Yeah.
Oh,
so James, this big old dude, like probably like 6, like.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he goes to Legion.
James-
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Nick's buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a right cross from that dude.
Yeah, dude.
Straight in the eye.
But that wasn't the tooth breaker.
No, that
No,
was,
that was
my
another
eye,
one.
My eye was all bleeding and everything. Like, it was a mess. But I was like trying to jump up on my amp, and I jumped up, but it slipped out from under my feet, and I literally ate my bass. Like, my bass
Yep.
flew into my mouth.
You could hear it.
And just cracked my teeth, and I just started chewing on them. I was like, my tooth's gone.
Yeah.
I like felt
My
sick.
tooth's gone.
Yeah, and as you could see in the very last scene of the video, I like smile at the camera.
Yeah.
You could see my tooth gone. But yeah, I was
Oh,
at like
God.
the dentist the next day and everything, getting a filler. So
Holy
Yep. And you were in the fire academy at that time.
yeah, so,
So
I'm
you
like
had to
in
show up,
formation
like-
the next day.
And you didn't get no
My
sleep that
tooth
night
out.
because we shot till 3 in the morning. You had to
Yeah.
get up at 6, no
Oh,
tooth.
that was the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
I was just hiding the whole time. Yeah, super hungover, tooth gone, eye completely gashed. I was a mess.
Makes for a great fucking story,
But-
though.
Yeah,
Oh, my
exactly.
It
God.
was a
Yeah.
great story, but that video was a very encouraging moment, like for the band, because not only did like we do it, we shot our first video, we had a song we felt good about. Then we premiered that video at the Balloon Fiesta Drive-In Theater
Oh,
in front of a shitload of people. I called them and got that video played there on the big drive-in screen, and that was sick. It came on before what, Space Jam or something, Space Jam 2,
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, the newest Space Jam.
Oh,
Yeah.
so this was like during the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah, this was last year, 2021
Oh,
of August.
fuck, 'cause they
August
were-
or September.
Because that's when like they were screening like Infinity War.
Yeah,
and
that's when they
all
were
that.
supposed to release Top Gun for the first time, and
Yeah.
it got postponed.
Right.
But it was sick. And then we had my sister in that video doing a dance, and she's like a famous TikToker, so that was cool for us. And then
Then we got in trouble with the venue. Did they talk about that?
Yeah, the venue emailed me. You're right. The venue emailed me, and they were like, "I wish you would have told us it was about drinking and half-naked girls."
Yeah, there's an end shot in the music video. You've probably seen it where there's just
bunch of asses,
just booty everywhere, and that there was like,
yeah. But I emailed them back, and I was like, "I sent this to you 3 months in advance. Like, someone should have screened it."
Because they didn't fucking look at it. They're like, "Oh, it's a local band. Yeah. They're talking about green chili, maybe some gangbangers,
right.
Or just a couple of bros, whatever." But no, it's an actual it's a music video.
Yeah,
from a rock band.
Yeah, and I thought it was supposed to be played before Top Gun 2, so I didn't think about children. And then they postponed Top Gun, switched it to Space Jam, and I was like, "Oh shit." But I still didn't think about it.
You gave a lot of 10-year-old boys their first like sexual awakening. Like, oh, women are dope.
Sure.
Yeah.
The slums right there.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
I didn't think about that really till I got that email, and I was like, "Ooh," but too late.
Well, what I liked about that video,
screened it, you know.
What I liked about the video is like there's a lot of like it's high production value, but there was like a lot of authenticity to it.
Yeah.
Like it reminded me of This Afternoon by Nickelback. Have you seen that music video?
No.
It's the same concept. It's a house party in their backyard, but they're having a great fucking time. Oh. And it's off their like Dark Horse album or some shit. Yeah. I love Nickelback.
I do too.
I don't know why people get the fucking
other day, bro. I was like, what the fuck? How come the internet came out and Nickelback all of a sudden was like the laughing stock of the world? That's bullshit. They were the Spider-Man soundtrack, and I don't want anyone to fucking forget it.
Yes.
Right? You're a superhero guy, so you know that shit went hard.
Up in my room, I've got the recalled 9/11 poster from the first Tobey movie. Have you seen that? Have you seen that?
Where he's on the building, right?
Well, so it's half of his mask, right? And he's peering behind a building, and in his eye, you see the Twin Towers.
Oh, I haven't seen.
Oh, wait,
I didn't realize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they had to recall it because things happened.
When did the first Spider-Man?
2002. But they started promos in August of the year before.
Oh, makes sense.
So and then literally a month later, 9/11 happened, and they're like, oh, because I remember there was like there's a teaser trailer they put out for the movie where Spider-Man webs an enemy's helicopter between the Twin Towers. And they had pumped that out, and like 3 weeks later, the towers fell. Fuck. So they were like, "Oh, we can't do that."
Yeah, so they took it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like they should have left it. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it sucks.
But
it's probably a cool shot.
Oh, I know, for sure. Yeah.
That first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire was awesome to me. I was obsessed too. I thought I was Spider-Man.
Yeah, I had bullshit. VHS. I had the video game.
I had the video game too. It was so fun.
Like shooting a web
through the city.
Yeah. And you couldn't fall to the ground because you died. But it was perfect game.
The reason I like that one the best out of the three is because of the Green Goblin. Mm-hmm. His armor looks fucking cool to this day. Mm-hmm. His glider, fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm glad
he's one of the best villains.
I'm glad they got rid of the mask though for No Way Home. I'm glad they got rid of the mask.
Dude, I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
Nah. I know. I'm sorry.
A moment of silence
for him. Let's do it.
No, you know what happens, right?
Yeah, I've seen spoilers on YouTube.
Yeah, there's no way you don't know what happens in that movie.
I did. But like, still though, I still think Green Goblin out of the original trilogy though.
Oh, he was. Yeah. Well, because Doc Ock was dope because he was sympathetic and
he just looked kind of funny to me.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a dude with metal octopus arms. I mean, you can't.
I just think his haircut was goofy.
Oh god, well that's how he looks in the books, dude. In the comics, he's got a fucking bowl cut, and he looks. Well, that's what I love.
He looks like he's like the sixth Beetle or fifth Beetle.
Because if you look at the old Stan Lee, Steve Ditko comics of Spider-Man,
I have the originals.
Right? Okay, so if you look at comics with where he's fighting the Sinister Six, Spider-Man is 16, 17 years old, and these are 50-year-old men coming after him, and it looks hilarious.
Yeah. And the Green Goblin in those comics doesn't have the suit or nothing. He's got that pink Santa hat.
Yep.
Or purple.
Purple. Yeah, he's got a purple hat, the green mask, and he's got the actual pumpkin bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool for the comics, but I think the way they did it in the movie was cool too.
Way better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, way better.
Solid.
Well, and the fact that he's a enhanced soldier, he's supposed to be training, this is what they would have given to the military, makes a lot more sense than some weird middle-aged guy in a glider
with a purple stocking cap.
Yes.
And pumpkin bombs.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be weird on cinema.
It's been out for almost a year. How have you not seen No Way Home? I'm genuinely curious.
That's a good question. I've just been busy.
Toby doesn't even have social media. He lives under a rock now.
Dude, you're better off for it.
Well, I deleted it because I realized it's
bullshit.
Well, Not for everyone. For me, it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not like judging anyone that has it. I was on it for a long time. It's addicting as fuck. That's what I know.
That's now why I have time limits on all my apps.
See, there you go.
Because it was bad.
I would just ignore them.
That's what I would do.
It, but then, you just swipe through.
Exactly. That's how I would be. So I was like, well, I permanently deleted everything.
Well, that's crazy. So is your sister Jaden?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, because I saw her in the video, and then I saw her on TikTok like fucking explode.
Yeah, she was like with the Tonight Show with Lizzo and shit. Yeah, she's like a micro celeb right now.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
Because
she's killing it, bro.
Because I found out about her before your video because I'm friends with Sarah Gunther, the girl who does the
peanut pottery.
Yeah, got a couple of her mugs.
They were roommates.
Great shit. Yes, exactly. It's like, oh shit, she's blowing up. I'll follow her, and then the next thing I know, it's the Tonight Show. So like,
you see her with James like Corden and Lizzo, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, insane. Good to see someone from New Mexico make it.
Insane to me too. I'm like, hey, I know her. Like, it's weird, bro.
Well, the reason I ask is because you completely ex-nay on the social media. Well, why did you do it in the first hand?
For me, I would get home from work after a long day and be like, I'd sit down and go on my phone if I didn't have something else to do. But I realized, like, what the fuck? And then you get lost in that death loop where you're just scrolling and you're not like paying attention, but you're just scrolling, and then you'll switch apps and watch a different video and then get on Instagram and scroll and go on Facebook and then TikTok. And it's like, this is bullshit. I was like, I could be playing guitar. I could be learning better songs. I have a shitload of work to do on my fourplexes. So, like, I have shit to do. You know what I mean? I don't have
drywall.
Yeah, like, I don't have time to be sitting here, like, being a screen zombie.
Wait, are you a landlord, too?
Yeah, I got 2 fourplexes, 8 units.
Okay, so you're going to be a millionaire. Okay, good to know.
Hell yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's beating my ass right now.
I'm sure.
But that's another thing. Like, I need to go work after work. I don't have time to sit there and scroll through Instagram for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like, and I would do that because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, it's easier just to sit here and fuck off. But now I go home, get off work, go back to work, and then go home and like play guitar till I go to bed or read a book. And it's just like, I feel better. You know what I mean? My head would feel like, you know when you play video games for like 15 hours straight when you're a kid and then your head feels like it's rotten? It's like mush. I'd feel like that a lot. And I'm like, this is fucking
Well, and like
bullshit.
half the content that's on there too, it's like, I don't know, it's just so toxic for your brain.
Well, it's supposed to either make you horny or angry.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's artificial dopamine hits that are unnatural, and it's all day. And so it's addicting. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, every time I get an ounce of boredom, I can go on there and see that toxic shit, and my brain gets a reward. You know what I mean? And it's like, you need to learn how to like have your own thoughts and sit in silence and think.
Well, because this is the first time.
That's hard to do these days.
Well, because this is the first time in human history where reward is instant.
Yeah.
Like, instant. And like you said, it's cheap reward too.
Cheap reward.
Very cheap dopamine. And it got to the point for me where I put time limits on, but like I recognized like, okay, I'm actually addicted to my phone.
Everyone is.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why? Because I would find myself like sitting there for 20, 30 minutes over even like an hour. It's like, what am I doing with my life? Like actively thinking that as I'm going through Instagram, like, what am I doing?
Right.
Should I be doing something else? And I brought that up to my shrink, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And then we just went down this whole rabbit hole like, of avoiding all of my responsibilities, because that requires work. This requires
instant gratification.
Nothing at all.
Yep.
And then the reason why I asked about your sister, so your sister's a product of like social media really working out for someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like really working out. So like, how do you digest seeing that and like knowing like what happens to everybody else or most of people, I guess?
I think my sister, I knew that she was actually fucking driven to be a dance, like to do dance. It wasn't just like, oh, I want to be famous or like I want to just be an influencer. She didn't care about being an influencer. She didn't care about it. She was on the dance team in high school. Like, she was on the dance team. I played football. It was cool. We were always at the same stuff. And then she would come home from work. She just worked normal jobs, too. And she would come home from work and film dance videos all night and start uploading them. And she did that for a long time. And then she started to gain traction. And she got, like, some big videos with, like, an Ariana Grande song that she took viral. Then, like, a Britney Spears song. And then it just kept snowballing. Before you know it, she's making more money on TikTok than from her jobs. You know what I mean?
Fucking crazy.
And so she has balls, dude. I remember the night she left and moved to LA. She packed up her car with everything she had $1,500 in her pocket. It sounds like the Dwayne Johnson and The Rock story. Oh, yeah. And she fucking just left to Albuquerque, bro, and slept on the floor for months. Like, no backup plan. No Jesus job Christ. Out there, and is killing it right now. Like, killing it.
Well, I mean, yeah, no backup plan, but she also garnered a following of some sort, garnered a like a presence.
Yeah, she has an
where
audience.
where it fits in that LA lifestyle. Like I was in a Zoom meeting with one of my professors, and we were kind of talking about like what I want to do and like where I want to go, like the kind of things I want to do. And he said it sounded really fucking corny at first, and I was like, okay, you're just being a pretentious like film school asshole. But I thought about it more, and I was like, because he goes, you got to figure out, regardless of how you feel about the politics, regardless of how you feel about the industry, regardless of how you feel about anything, the world is the way it is. You have to figure out your relationship with LA. What do you think about that place?
As a film student.
Yeah, what do you think? Which is entertainment.
Right.
He's like, regardless of what you're doing, whether you want to be a fucking screenwriter, director, musician, fucking, he said influencer, right? A talk show host, whatever you want to do, what's your relationship with LA? And then move from there. And I thought that was interesting because that is one of the last, that might be because nobody goes to New York anymore. I think after COVID, COVID killed New York quicker than it killed LA, which is shocking to me.
But did you see the dictatorship they put in place there? That's why it killed it so fast.
Well, exactly. But you look at California too,
Same thing.
and it's like the same thing, but it's like California's a little shinier somehow.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't for Cuomo, I think Cuomo killed New York.
Absolutely.
That
and
fucking
Newsom's
weirdo.
about to kill LA.
Yes.
I hate to say it. And we don't have to get all political, but
Right.
you just
Well, no,
it's
there's-
not actually not about politics, it's just about
It's
looking at
facts.
what's going on.
It's facts.
Yeah.
Like, and then I just look at that statement and people still do that where it's like, I think I've built enough in my city. There's nowhere else to go. Time to see what happens.
Going to California, bro.
And then that's just fucking crazy to me.
But the thing is, like, I think with her, it was like she had an audience before she dipped.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it wasn't like she was like telling us like, oh, I'm going to LA and I'm going to make it like on a whim, like without any like proof of product. She'd already been grinding.
Yeah.
So she was like, well, I know what I got to do next. I just have to have the balls to go. And we were just like, me, my mom, and my dad were just like, well, it's your life. Like,
Right.
you got to go. If you're going to do it, you got to go and do it. You know what I mean? Or you're going to regret it.
So do you guys have a plan like that? Not that you have to spill the beans, but is there a plan like that for the slums where it's like, look, we are going to kill, because you're already killing it in Albuquerque. You clearly have a rapport with the venues here. You can just show up and say, hey, I'll see you in a week. And like, awesome, we're going to make beer money.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, it's like when you're tapped out here, is there another
That's
plan?
like the paradigm shift that happened with like Toby and when Leroy came in. Like there was a point where I told them right away, I was like, I'm cool with just being like a local band, like playing these venues and stuff. But they were like, no, like we're gonna make it big. Like we're gonna take this to the next level. We're gonna tour. We're gonna like make it to where we don't have to have a desk job ever again. And we're gonna be fucking rock stars. And now we all got on board with that. It took a while because for me it was unrealistic. But what I told them, I was just like, I'm going to show up and do everything I can to make that happen for you guys. Because, yeah, it's just all love and we all want to support each other and each other's dreams. And that sounds like a kick-ass dream, too. So I'm like, let's do it. Yeah. So now we're all on board to the top. Like,
yeah, you're right.
We're gonna try
that was an actual conversation we had. I remember that at practice. I just don't see the point of thinking small. I don't think we'll get anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you will, but it's just not far.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get exactly where you think you're going to go.
Yeah.
If you think small, that's where we'll be in 10 years.
We have vision
you know what I mean?
boards with platinum records on
We really do.
them.
It
you
sounds
really?
corny, but I
Yeah.
really don't care.
No, okay, so that's the thing, right?
I really believe in this.
Well, I used to think that shit was gay as fuck. Not gonna lie.
Me
I
too.
thought vision boards and writing
Until
down
I
your
started seeing it
goals,
working.
like
Yeah, I did mine 'cause
manifesting
of-
your art. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's gayer than AIDS.
Because that surface
But-
value, it sounds stupid.
But if you actually do it,
Right.
and you put some work
Work
behind
behind
it,
Yeah.
Because I remember when I went to for 4 years of high school and 2 years of college, I went to a military school.
Okay.
And in my last 2 years there, the commandant of the school kind of became like a mentor of mine. And something he kept telling me and a couple of like group of cadets that I was in was like, write down. He kept saying it, never really explained it, never really like got too much into it. He just always dropped it. At the end of every meeting was to write down your goals.
Yeah.
Write down 3 goals. Whether it's because he's in the military, it was like the 25, 50, or 100 meter target. It was like, no, like, but he would say that, but he also said like your like 1 week, 1 month, 3 months into the semester kind of goal.
You have to know your destination.
Yeah. But then I'm a dumb 18, 19-year-old kid. And so I didn't really take too much stock in that. But then finally after like the 3rd meeting, I was like, sir, I got a question.
Yeah.
Why? Like, that sounds so dumb.
Right.
Why? And he was like, well, I mean, I can give you my philosophy, but studies have shown that 78% of people who write down their goals achieve them.
Yeah.
And I was like, fine. Well, it's an extra 5 seconds. But then, like, I wrote down a little sticky note and, like, put it on my cork board that was on my desk. And I had my goals out, and I hit all 3 of them by the end of the semester. I was like, oh, shit.
It's because your brain is a feedback mechanism that needs to know where it's headed. Or else it just drifts, right? I mean, that's just really the way it comes down to it. That's why it works. That's why it, like, sounds bullshit. But if you really think about it, it's like, well, if you're getting an airplane, you got to know where you're fucking going. You're not going to get there.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
And like you were saying, like with the brain, like I honestly think the human brain is so powerful that if you truly like have something in mind, like I think any person can get whatever they want.
Absolutely.
As long as they just put their mind to it.
Will you pass me a brew?
Yeah.
Didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
But yeah, I mean, that's just.
Thank you, sir.
Put like, those goals and stuff and like vision boards and all that.
Well,
it does work. I've seen already shit happen. When I joined the band, I wrote down all the venues I wanted us to play. We've played all of them. We've played
dope.
Meow Wolf. We've played NMSU.
Oh, you played Meow Wolf?
We played UNM.
Fuck.
We've played, since then, at the time we hadn't ever played Marble. We've played Marble a bunch of times. We've played Rio Bravo. I basically just listed everything in New Mexico.
What are the venues I know?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, well, that's a good way to start. You know what I mean?
So, and now we're working on like a tour for next year and stuff.
Well, you guys are about to go out of town, right?
We play Tucson in 2 weeks, Yeah.
Yep,
that'll be cool. It's our first time ever out of state, so we'll see how it goes.
Sick.
Yes, sir.
To start expanding, because even like other artists that have come into Albuquerque, we'll ask them like, what does the effect truly have on your like streams, on your numbers?
Yeah.
Based off of like your tours, and they said it helps so much. Like,
well, yeah, it's advertising. At the end of the day, live shows are advertising. And it's really great and fun, and
you get invested in it.
Yes,
you see us like in having fun, and you have fun, and we all have fun. So it's like, okay, cool. I'll maybe follow them.
Yeah,
and it works. We played NMSU. And that was our biggest freaking show. That was awesome. We played to 1,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
It was sick, dude. They took us out on golf carts. My cousin Jet worked at NMSU, and he like set up an awesome show for that. So we had the connection. He brought us out, took a chance on us to open, and it went.
Slaughtered it.
We got like 400 followers in like 10 minutes.
It was
and
insane.
We were like, okay, this was sweet.
Yeah. And that's what makes me feel like the slums are going to make it. Like why I'm so confident in it is because music these days, it's so saturated because it's all streaming. Like you have billions of songs at your fingertips at all times.
Yep.
So like our songs can come and go, not make the biggest impression. It could be a great song. It's just so saturated now. We're a live performance band. Like when you come see the Slums, that's what sells you on our stuff. Yeah. So us getting out of Albuquerque, going to different states and just showing people how we perform, that's how.
Well, because it's not the 70s anymore, right? Yeah. You're not just going for radio play. You're not just going to like get your shit pressed and put out on vinyl. Yeah. Now, like you guys, like my favorite band is like Avenged Sevenfold, like Run the Jewels, like people like that. Like you guys now compete with my favorite bands. Am I going to spend 3 minutes listening to them, or am I spend 3 minutes listening to you? Yeah. And that's how it is for everybody. Like that's no matter what space you're in of entertainment, if you choose to go into that live, like yes, it's awesome to put your stuff up on streaming, right? And like I don't know how much it costs for you guys to put stuff on Spotify or Apple Music or anything like that.
I think you pay a yearly fee for like our distributor DistroKid.
And that's that's what I do too. Yeah. And it's very inexpensive to put your stuff up. Right. But
which is why the record industry is dying.
Yes, thank God.
It's okay for us to be independent and because we are a little mini label. Well, like we were just talking about earlier, we're self-sufficient. We have a producer, we have a video team who makes our videos, we have cover art designers, we have photographers, and we have the band / songwriters. So we have, what do we need a label for? We can distribute it ourselves. It's not like they have to press up millions of vinyls and ship them logistically across different record stores. Everyone just hits upload. The label will hit upload too, just like us.
Exactly. Well, and that's what's hard about labels now is because since they are losing money, they're looking to capitalize on people like us. They want us to pay them.
Get caught in a 360 deal quick.
Connections. So that's why you see some people like locally, whatever, internationally, that have all these like followers and all these venues lined up, even though they're so new. It's all just because they're using like daddy's money or whatever to pay these labels to get them to these places.
And they also do a lot of fake streaming. You know what I mean? When you're with a label, because they boost your streams.
Oh, right. It's like buying followers and buying right.
And the biggest way to tell that is if they have hundreds of thousands, millions of streams, you show up to their show and there's 40 people there.
Well, it's like when you go on an Instagram profile and they've got like 100,000 followers,
7
but then
likes.
They've got like no likes. It's like, okay, well, your engagement is beyond horrible, or you might have dumped a couple grand into this.
Exactly.
To
It's
box the
obvious
numbers.
though, and like an organic fan base, even though it's way slower, and you know this with your podcast.
Yeah.
It's way slower,
Yeah.
but they are true fans.
Yes.
They'll come to the shows. They'll listen to the episodes.
Yeah.
They'll buy the shirts. You know what I mean? And that is
Great merch, by the way.
Hey, thanks. Shout out to Leroy. He did all that.
Great
Leroy,
Our marketing guy.
Leroy really does all the work for the merchandise. So
We've
he
had
kicks
that
ass.
shirt for like probably a year and a half now, just waiting to put that specific one out.
It's sick.
Yeah,
That's a
one's
cool one. I can't wait for the crew necks.
Yeah, the sweaters.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, we are self-sufficient. You know what I mean? We don't need a label.
Yeah.
Because the label would do nothing for us but take our money.
Well, one of my favorite stories was back in 2013. Well, it must have been 12 going into 13 when A Day to Remember put out Common Courtesy.
Okay.
Right? Because between that, it went from Homesick to Common Courtesy. And in the middle of that, they got into a legal battle with their label. And they're like, you know what? Fuck you. We don't need you anyway. So they started their own little label, self-produced and put out Common Courtesy, pretty much went bankrupt. And they were like, if this sells, it sells. If it doesn't, we're done.
Yeah.
But, we'll see what happens. And it's now like, I think Homesick is like here and Common Courtesy is like right here.
So they did that
It's
themselves.
like, yeah,
They
they
got almost the same commercial success.
Exactly.
And
Because
now
they
they-
had the loyal organic fan base.
Yeah, and that's what matters. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's
And
all.
they'll run you dry too, because when the contract you're signing, there's usually a number of shows that you need to like play in that year. They're going to make their money with you, so they'll have you play 300 something venues in like a year, if less than that. You'll be exhausted and want to just be done with it.
Well, it's because I learned a lot of this from Rogan did an episode with Jewel. And if you've never heard that episode, it's 4 hours long and it's phenomenal. And basically she talks about how she went from homeless to a millionaire. And
I have seen it.
And then went to broke, back to millionaire.
Yep.
And like,
She was playing at little clubs, and all of a sudden she was being courted by all the most massive labels. I saw that one. That's a good one.
And one of the traps that she almost fell into was like, she got a contract and it was for $1 million. But you did have to play a certain amount of venues, pump out a certain amount of records, and you had to make the $1 million back. It was a loan. And that's a pretty standard practice.
Every single record deal's a loan.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. Like, people
you have
really don't get that.
You have to pay for your own recording. Everything you just described, you have to pay for it with that $1 million.
But it's actually worse than that. You don't just like pay for your own recording and stuff. Like, let's say they give us each $1 million. Let's say they gave us $1 million bucks, right? Right off the bat, they're gonna assign you a lawyer. Mm-hmm. That lawyer is gonna take 10% right off the bat. So now you got $900,000.
Yep.
Then they're gonna the label's gonna assign you a manager. It's not your choice. It's in the contract. That manager's gonna take 10%. Now you're at $800,000, right? Then they're gonna assign you a producer. You don't work with who you want. Label's gonna assign you a producer in a studio. It's gonna have a daily rate. Let's say it takes $100,000 to record that album over 6 months. Now you're at $700,000. Then at $700,000, you're in the highest tax bracket. So you say goodbye to 50% of that right there. Seriously though, right? It's right.
You have to know this.
Say goodbye to 50%. So now you're at $350,000. You have $350,000. That $350,000 then has to get divided between 6 people in the band, right? Pay for merchandise, touring, everything, cover art, and it's not going to be like on a DIY budget. You know what I mean? You might get left with $40,000 each at the end of that $1 million advance.
Yep.
And you still owe it through recouping the streams and touring. You're in the hole unless you're a success. You're going to end up in debt most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're independent. And you say, fuck you. You know what I mean? We can press the distribute button ourselves. We can hire the cover art designer ourselves. We go to the studio we trust for $1,000. No. We write our own songs. It's like, it's not very tempting for anyone to like offer us anything.
Well, and then even if you don't have, which is amazing knowledge, I'm going to clip the fuck out of that. But if you don't even have that prior knowledge, looking at all these like biopics of musicians that come out,
yeah, they all get fucked.
Like, what part of this looks attractive to anyone?
Right. Well,
You know what
because
I mean?
they promise you like, oh, you're gonna be famous, and it's
Yeah.
like that's not how it works either. A label can't make you famous.
No.
Or you just get that year of the spotlight because they're promoting the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And stuff, and you're showing your face at all these venues. But
Oh, that's another thing that comes out of the budget is the videos, promotion, everything. Like you're just draining. It's a loan that you don't get. It's like fucked. It's crazy. And then they keep your publishing and your streaming royalties. That's
Right.
the other thing. If they keep your masters, if you get sucked into a full 360 deal, the record label's great grandkids are going to be snorting coke off the money you made off your songs instead of your kids going to college off the songs you made. Seriously. They're going to just, because you don't own your own songs. That's bizarre.
Yes.
You don't own the shit you made with your friends.
Well, it's why people like Peyton Manning, he had to put a copyright on his face so the NFL couldn't use it.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
Yeah, he did it. Favre did it. And I think Aaron Rodgers tried to do it. But that's when the whole like COVID vaccine thing came up. I could be talking out of my ass right now, but I'm pretty sure he got like
copyright his face, huh?
Like they all had to copyright their face.
Wow.
Because the NFL is going to use that for promotion, and they have to get they don't have to ask your permission because in the contract you signed, kind of like being in the band, the contract you signed to be a part of the team. You're now a part of the NFL. You are not just fucking Brett Favre anymore.
Yeah.
You are now the quarterback for the Packers. That's who you are.
Right.
You are number fucking whatever number he was.
Make 0 royalties off being on the Madden cover type shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Precisely. It's like it's like whenever people like a big movie star goes on to be in their whatever fucking superhero movie you want to pick, whatever big like Tom Cruise, Will Smith movie, they make royalties for sure, but not nearly as much as distributing people would because of that exact thing you just brought up.
Right. And the royalty split for musicians is already extremely low. So like you make 0.001 cents per 1,000 streams on Spotify, right? Which is like, it's really low, right? But if you're signed to a label, you're not even getting that, bro. You're lucky if you get 10% of that and then split that between 6 people and then pay your 50% taxes. So you're making nothing, really. So it's like, you can really get sucked into, and I feel bad if people don't know that and they do kick ass as a musician.
Well, because why would you know that unless you do your research?
Yeah, and I'm just a nerd and I research all this, I guess. But most people,
we need to have
it's
that
boring.
guy.
It is boring, but like I care, I guess. I don't know. But like most people like think about it. If you're 18, you make a kick ass album, you're on top of the world, and you get signed to some shitty deal, you could be depressed as fuck, own zero of your music, be broke, and have the best album in the world. And that's sad. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Imagine that. Imagine having like a #1 album in the world. You're signed to a bullshit deal and you're broke as fuck.
I mean, that's what happened to Elvis, apparently.
That's what happened to almost everyone until recently.
Yeah.
Till the whole independent wave.
So, what are your guys' like personal indicators of like, okay, we're hitting the next step? Is it streams? Is it venues? Is it followers? Is it like what kind of like what do you guys have your eye on?
For me, it's that we're starting to outgrow Albuquerque. Like he was saying, like we've played the venues, and if we play more than like one show a week, the people that come to our shows goes down like exponentially because everyone like shows up to our shows. Like everyone who goes out to shows and music venues come out that night, and they're not going to come see us again the second night because they already saw us. I think we're just starting to outgrow it here, and hitting the road is going to just take our streams. Like we're just maxing out here, I think.
Yeah, you can only play to the same demographic so many times before they've heard your set too many times.
Yeah.
You know? I think. I don't know. But
no, that's
the crowd
true.
energy is something that I think is really cool we've seen grow. And like that's a positive indicator for us, for sure. Like that last show you were at, I'm so glad that was the show you got to see us at.
Yeah.
That was awesome. There's a video of you actually when the bride and groom were on stage during the encore for all the small things. You're in the front.
Oh boy,
and you're
I'm
rocking
sorry.
out. No, it's awesome because like you could tell you were actually having fun. And it's like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like everyone was. There's people on the tables and shit. I've never seen that at Marble.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
We turned that place into a freaking
awesome.
dive bar like every single show.
That's such a good
amazing.
feeling. That's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
It sucks when you play a show that's bombing.
And
you're
you just
like,
let people like let loose and everything for all too. Like so many times there's people apologizing the next day. Like they'll like text me or Snapchat me. They're like, I was like acting up at your guys' show last night. They're just having fun.
I was
like,
acting up.
Yeah, like people just don't like the energy, the things that we like do to people. Like I know that sounds like ridiculous, but people really come out of their shell with us and they just
That's the power of good music.
Yeah.
That is the power of good music. There's
a
like
weird feeling, dude.
I'm not anywhere near smart enough to quote it properly, but there's science that backs behind like the proper like beat and rhythm tempo and all that shit. It fucks with the wiring in your head, and it makes you like it lets your guard down. Hey, get your guard. Yeah,
It's something primal about it. You can't like not nod your head if it's like rocking.
That's why Down with the Sickness took off so fast.
It's
a
a great
tribal
song.
fucking joke.
Yeah, like even if you don't like metal, everyone knows that song.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like how everyone knows certain metal Metallica songs. You know what I mean? Like because it just hits something primal in you. Yeah. There's just certain music that's undeniable to everyone. It's cool. It's weird though. Like you said, you can't describe it.
Yeah.
You really can't.
It's instinctual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's why they had the little fairy flowing through the like the Revolutionary War with a little flute. to hype
That
them
would
up.
suck ass to be a drummer boy in the fucking war.
Oh shit!
At every job, they're like, here, bitch, you get the drum.
You're trying to hold down the tempo. You have drumsticks.
Yeah. God, that would be
Marching around.
awful. You don't even get a gun.
Yeah.
What's the
Limbs
fucking point of that?
It was morale. Like, that was the best
That's
thing they had
true.
for morale back then.
That's
like,
how
straight
important
up.
music is. They're
Yeah.
willing to give you no gun,
Yeah.
a drum, and get your ass
Well,
to the
'cause
front.
it was crazy back in the
hilarious.
Revolutionary War. By the end of it, not even the end of it, like the halfway point, their supplies were so low that if your musket broke, that was it.
Well, I heard they were filling.
you
Like,
had
you're
what-
right. Their munitions were so low. They were filling their muskets with like glass and like anything.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's when like there's I forget which Pirates of the Caribbean movie it was where the dude shot like
I remember that.
bits of coin out of his fucking
Blunderbuss.
blunderbuss or
He
whatever.
put like forks in it. Remember?
Yeah, that's like real
the
shit.
fork hit that guy's eye. In that movie. Do you remember that scene? That's a good scene. I used to love those movies. I was obsessed with Pirates of the Caribbean too.
Yeah.
Not the second one. Like also.
No, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Like, and that's some real shit. So I think I want to say it was all about mostly morale because they still brought. I forget who the guy was that wrote the Blue Book for Washington's Army, but he was a Brit. They actually had this British guy come over and it's like, yeah, the king and queen kind of fucking suck. I'm gonna help you guys out. And part of like the drill and ceremony for them was a cadence, and that's how they use the drums. But then it also became like a morale thing.
That's cool.
But
I believe
imagine
that.
Fucking going to war.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah, I
With
still.
only a drum.
Yeah, I feel like the nurses and stuff who were doing like the Civil War and just those super gory wars. I feel like they had it fucked up because they were probably always getting. They probably saw 200 people a day with just like a bunch of missing limbs or like
No anesthesia.
people decapitated. Yeah, sawing off people's
Hacksaws, bro. Rusty
and stuff.
hacksaws.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like
Isn't that fucked
insane.
up? Why would you even fight? Like it's just easier to get along at that point. It's like
Yeah.
this is ass. You know what I mean? You don't even die
'Cause
quickly.
they would line like the the British. Their whole thing was they would line up because it was gentlemanly
I know.
and it was polite to just line up and
just
fire at each other.
That's
bro.
why they got whooped
fuck
by
your
the Indians when they came near us because they didn't fight like that. They were
you get a
riding
tomahawk to the side of
Yeah.
the neck and a scalp taken off.
They're all, why are they lining up like that all in the trees and stuff? They're all.
Oh, dude.
Well, that's what made
Natives are ready for these
Oh,
fucking white
yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
Except for Leroy, he's allergic to horses.
Leroy's allergic to horses. Isn't that horrible?
I was there when he had an allergy attack to horses in high school. It was
Oh,
hilarious.
my
Well, no, it
God.
wasn't funny, but it was funny later.
I miss so
Leroy's
that's
a
very
great guy.
ironic. God has a sense of humor for sure.
That right? That's
I love you, Leroy, but fuck, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
That is some irony for sure.
They're all, how are you as a grown ass man allergic to horses?
A Native American allergic to horses. That's what's funny.
that
to me.
would that's
Yeah.
what's funny to me too. Thank you.
Yeah. Like you'd have been walking everywhere back in the day, Leroy. No transportation. There were no EpiPens and no cars. You're fucked, bro.
He had to leave the Sublime concert because they had a rodeo before.
He had to leave medieval times in high school because he was
Yeah.
allergic to the horses.
It's bad.
Yeah, poor Leroy.
So, do you guys have your eye on a specific city or a state you might want to expand to? Like, hey, if we do this really well, let's go live here and kick ass there.
We haven't had any conversations about living somewhere else yet. I don't think, truthfully, I just don't think we are at that point yet.
Yeah.
But playing other places, we want to start trying to take over Arizona and Colorado and Texas, you were saying, right?
Yeah, well, and that's like the handicap that we have in like being a band in the Southwest. I was all doing the Northeast, Southwest. That's one of the handicaps is everything's so spread out.
Yeah.
So like you have like Austin, then you have Albuquerque, then like Phoenix. But if you were to go to like California, you could easily hit LA, San Diego, San Francisco, Oakland. You can hit so many more cities, but here it's like you have to drive 8 hours just to play like your next show. Where there you just have to drive an hour north and you're at the next city. So it's like I feel like if we get into a state, just that's so saturated with cities.
I would say yes. If again, I'm pretty ignorant to what you guys are going through, but again, from an outsider's point of view, yeah, you got to drive pretty far to get to like, Arizona. If you want to go to like Phoenix, Tucson, you want to go to Boulder, Austin, shit like that. But while there is a lot of entertainment and a lot of art here, especially like post-pandemic, there's not a lot of good art. So like, cause everyone's doing it. And so if everyone does it, I feel like it's easier for the really good ones to rise up. Whereas you think everyone's doing it here, look at Southern California.
Yeah.
Everyone is doing it there, whether it's hip hop, fucking rock, TikTok dancers, TikTok influencers, like everybody, because everyone thinks it's easy. Now the washout rate, I'm sure, is through the fucking roof, but at least here, you know, and also it's kind of ugly to say, but because of how poor New Mexico is, if you guys have the money to tour, you're already beating out at least 60% of your competition,
right?
Because they will be stuck here because of their financial dependency, because of their handicap that they have.
That's where it also is beneficial that we don't split our money up between ourselves. We take it and we can in the future save it for tours, small tours, mini tours, you know what I mean? And like try to just pay for gas and hotel rooms and don't expect to make any money, but we get to get out and get our name out there, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for. It's our next step, honestly. What else are we going to do?
Yeah.
We got to.
And that's one of the cool things about Albuquerque too, is I really just feel like in the last, honestly, since we came back from the pandemic, like all the bars opened up again, like the music scene, the venues have been so supportive of getting artists in and just getting like,
well, they have to be.
Yeah.
Let's be pragmatic. They have to be, because what's their other option? Like, there's so many places. If there's not anything else to do in Albuquerque, it's drink and do drugs. Yeah. And there is
which is a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks. But like on the other hand, there's a million different places here to go drink. Whether you can go to a bar, a brewery, restaurant, whatever it is. Now you add the live music. Okay, great.
It's a selling factor.
It's a huge selling factor, because even if the live music is not that great, it can still just be background music.
Right. It's better than nothing.
You know what I mean?
But Marble has told us that they sell a shitload of beer when we play, and that's like that's encouraging to us.
Because you guys are good.
We want them to. You know what I mean? Like we want Marble's kick ass. They give shout out Marble. They give us the chance to play at that sick venue.
Sponsor me, please.
Yeah, right. No kidding. We need some new Marble merch. But they're open to us. Like they support us. We're happy when they sell a shitload of beer. You know what I mean? That's what we want. We want to turn that place upside down. You know what I mean? That's the goal.
Well, again, that's what Jewel did with that little coffee shop she was at. She was there. She was really good at playing, beautiful voice, well on the guitar, and she had people standing outside in the rain watching her.
That's crazy.
You know, and so if you can be symbiotic with the businesses, that's great for you guys. But again, at the end of the day, the businesses need to exploit if they can support that, they need to exploit it. Right. That's why live music and live comedy is starting to boom so much here in Albuquerque, because of the fact that they need to pay their bills somehow. Yeah,
and it's a two-way street, because we're really grateful when we get to play at cool places. You know what I mean? It's not like,
oh yeah, not to say you don't get a kickback, because you certainly do.
Oh yeah, it's just fun though too. It's like, thank you for letting us play here, because it's badass. Like it's fun. You know what I mean? We get to get our like we get to like cut our teeth playing these cool places, like
and
local
it's cool
guitar
to,
heroes.
Like be a part from like the beginning, like how I was saying, just in the last 5 years, it seems like this has happened. There's so many more big plans. Like the Art Walk is just getting bigger and bigger.
And you guys are talking about that.
I guarantee you in the next couple of years, there's going to be like a small music festival.
There needs to be.
Like a South by Southwest, but in Albuquerque. That's for sure. Like the way things are lining up, this city's going to explode, especially with the art.
I agree with you, and I agree, like, for sure. And I agree with what you and Nick and Leroy were talking about in that last episode. Like, there used to not be, like, a really big art scene here. Mm-hmm. There's like, an up-and-coming music scene here. Side Montero's dope. They have a loyal fan base. The Rhythms are kick-ass. They have a loyal fan base. Mango Cakes are dope.
Yeah.
We bring a good crowd. Like, when I think of Albuquerque music right now, I think of, like, the Rhythms, Mango Cakes, Side Montero, us, and there's another band that, like, Red Light Cameras.
Oh, yeah. They're the OGs, though.
Yeah. They're good.
But those 5 bands can bring a crowd almost
Savings is pretty
time.
Fucking good, too.
Savings kick ass.
I love them live.
Yeah.
I went and saw them Inside Out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. We played with them at Launchpad. That's when we met them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they were cool. Yeah, really nice guys. That's a cool thing, too. Everyone's nice guys. It's not like it's like a feud. Everyone's on the same team.
Yes. Well,
it's not like, us fuck them. Yeah.
It needs to be that way, because I mean, I think, again, I look at all the entertainment here, whether it's music, the movie industry is booming, podcasting, because like that's one of the things I was surprised about. There are so many fucking podcasts here in Albuquerque.
Really?
There are a ton. There are a fucking ton
in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Are
they doing?
There's no huge ones yet. Like I think the biggest one right now would probably be the April Fools. Nico and Benito, they're 2 really good guys.
I haven't heard that one.
They're probably the bigger ones here, but even then, and then the BS show, my buddy, he's a stand-up, Robert Gibson and his co-host, they have a pretty good podcast, but there's not any like major like explosive ones that would like even like the April Fools, they go out and they do events. Like they'll go out with Astral Entertainment and do live shows. They'll go to Revel and do live shows, which is pretty crazy. But there's a lot of entertainment here.
There is.
And I think if you look at it, like there isn't a feud. There shouldn't be.
Nah.
It's like it needs to be a feast, not a famine.
Right.
Because if
That's
you're
what
just,
you're saying with
if
Leroy
you're,
Nick, yeah.
yeah, because like, and not that I came up with that by myself. I heard Rogan say that over and over and over, and it's true.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, like you're just trying to like cut people's throats, stab in the back to get the next. What do you?
You
what,
can't have that crabs in a barrel mentality.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, what mentality is that gonna help you for?
Yeah.
A, what is that gonna do to you mentally? And then also you put out this reputation,
Right.
Networking, especially in Albuquerque, where the number one thing here, in my opinion, is community and family.
Yeah.
That is what the Hispanic culture is built on.
True.
So if you're known as the guy who's a fucking asshole, you're maybe you're talented. Okay, cool. Maybe you can play guitar. Okay, cool. Maybe you can sing. Great. Whatever. But if you're an asshole,
don't be
if you're
a dick,
prick, you take money, you don't pay people out, like no one's gonna want to fuck
And
with
Leroy
you.
harps on that a lot. He's like, we need to get involved in shit that's outside of music, like just the local art scene.
Yeah,
And
like-
we're all busy, but we're trying.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and
Like,
that's what I was saying. Like, I feel like one thing that I've seen with you that you have in common with us is like us. We try to go to these other band shows. We want to be there, but they're also really good too, and we love live music. But you, I bet you. I mean, you've come to 2 of our shows now, and
one got rained out,
yeah,
unfortunately.
one got rained out. But like, you're out and like showing your face, and you explore a lot of stuff that way. Like going out on the weekends, going downtown, doing the art walk. There's so much going on in this city that you don't really.
It is
see
up
if
and
you're
coming.
just- yeah, and I'm sure. Is that how you find a lot of your guests and stuff? Is just hanging out?
So Instagram, admittedly, has been my best friend.
Cool.
Like as much as I talk shit about social media,
But see, that's different. You're
has
using
been
it
my
as a
best friend.
tool.
Yes, it
right?
is. It's a very
Instead of
valuable
just
tool.
like a zombie loop.
Yeah, and then that's what I like.
Which is why I had to get off.
Yeah, but like putting about my
That's productive though.
my time limits is it forces me to use it properly.
Mm-hmm.
It forces me to like, okay, I could look at memes, I could look at stupid shit,
yeah.
or I could fucking schedule these people that I've told me to schedule for the last 3 weeks. I'm gonna fucking schedule them.
But and
Or-
you're obviously consistent because I stalked the podcast. And
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of the episodes. Side Montero one was really good, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate
And but you're like on episode 69 or 70 now.
This is episode. Fuck me. This is episode 70.
Yeah, see, I'm
Holy shit.
We almost got 69.
Yeah, almost. Fuck. But still, think about that.
This is
Most
episode
people would have
70.
probably
That's
most
wild.
people would have probably quit around 30 episodes.
I almost did. I'll be real. I almost did.
Well, because it's exactly. We're
I almost
almost at
did.
song 20, and we're like, we have frustrations and doubts, and
Yeah.
it's just human nature, bro.
Well, because my approach to it was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and this is before I had like any good equipment. Just,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this, see what happens. I'm gonna do 10 episodes. Do I know 10 people? Okay. Do I know 10 people that want to sit down and talk for hours on end? Okay, and thank God I did. And I was like, okay, we'll do. I took a 3-month break, edited, learned more things, bought more equipment. I was like, okay,
Kept reinvesting in the business.
yeah. And then I was like, well, yes, it was an investment, a debt investment, but it was an investment nonetheless.
Yeah, but it'll pay
And-
off
We did the
eventually.
same.
Yeah.
It's all.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do 10 more, and I did 10 more. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna take a month break now.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, let's see if I can do 10 more. And that 10 more never stopped, and which is crazy to me. And I had to take, unfortunately, I had to take about a month and a half off or so. I had to move spots, build this, and all that. Because if you notice, the episode that I did with the slums
noticed.
is different.
Yep.
The setting is different than it is here.
Yep.
So I had to move spots, and I had to build all this back up, figure out what the fuck to do.
Right.
And thankfully, I was able to put it together. And my buddies helped me out a fucking bunch. I mean, they took me
And that's
in.
important, bro.
Yeah, they took me in. And yeah, there was a couple of times where I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Like, I love doing it, but like, what the fuck?
But if you
am I-
love doing it, bro,
Exactly.
it doesn't fucking matter.
That's what I had to remind myself. I was
Yep.
like, it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
I had to stop taking it so seriously.
We have to remind ourselves of that. We've been extra stressed,
Yeah.
extra at each other's throats. Like, we won't get into like what's
Yeah.
going on, but like we've been at each other's throats and like more mean to each other than is acceptable.
Yeah.
You know? But we got to remember, like you just said, we wanted to do this. It's fun. It's way better than working at all day.
Well, it's like a relationship. You have to you have to
It's
choose
a
it.
it's a 6-way marriage.
You
bro.
have
Yeah,
to
it's
choose
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
Like, there are times where you're in love with it and you're just having a great time and nothing could stop you. But there's days where it's like, do I want to keep choosing this?
Well, with
And
something
then-
like this, it's like it's like the extreme highs and the extreme lows.
Yeah.
It's like we play a show like that last show. We are on cloud 9. Nothing's going to stop us. A couple days later, we are so at each other's throats. I think we're going to break up, and like everyone's like we're all being really mean to each other. Except for Leroy and Johnny most of the time. They're the sweethearts. But the rest of us are like I actually thought about this a lot the other night because we were actually really at each other's throats last night, all week.
Yeah.
It's been bad. Like, for real.
We're all just keyboard warrior each other. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah. It's not cool. But like I really thought about why this is happening. If you really think about it, it makes sense. We have 6 young mid-20s men.
Yeah.
6 of them. High testosterone, creative, very passionate, very outspoken, very different lives.
Confrontational.
Very
and
confrontational,
yeah.
opinionated, and assertive.
Yeah.
Not scared of each other.
Yeah.
High testosterone young men trying to make this like work in harmony perfectly all the time together with very different lives, stresses, job schedules. It's like almost magical that we've stayed together this long. So it's like we just got to remember that we are friends. We love to play music together. Me and Nick go back 10 years, and I thought we were going to kill each other the other day. Like, for real. It's like, it sucks. It's kind of sad.
I fought Johnny at practice one time.
That was awful to me. It wasn't like, it's funny now, but it's...
The fact that it happened.
It wasn't funny at the time. Like,
right.
No, it was sad. It was super sad.
Yeah, it was scary for everyone. We were like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, that shit happens with this shit. We're together more than we're with our girlfriends, more than we're with anyone else in our families. Like, we are with each other multiple hours a night after most of us get off an 8 or 10 or 12-hour shift. We're already beat. We're already grumpy. We're already mad. Then we get there and we have to practice for 2 hours at night, go home tired, wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, go to work. Yeah. After 2-3 years, that fucking wears on people.
Like how at the beginning,
including myself, like for sure.
Yeah, like at the beginning, how I was saying like I wanted it just to stay like us, just like local band. We play every so often at like Launchpad and stuff. That's what I was talking about. Is like I didn't want it to not be a hobby anymore, because I knew once we moved it past that, it would start turning into more of like a business, and it would become more of like almost a professional relationship where like we need to be showing up on time. We need to be worrying about like finances, like just all that stuff that just isn't as fun for a band thing. But to get to that next level, like that's what we have to do. Yeah. Oh, and that's one of the things too is Kenny Riley, he said something like, I think it was like the last time we recorded that totally stuck. He said, like we always ask him, we're like, what's the inside scoop? Like, how are we going to make it big? We're like, how are we going to make it famous? Because he's done some crazy shit.
It's our producer.
Yeah. And he said, just don't ever stop being a band. He said,
don't break up, don't quit.
He said that's every band's like downfall. They break up and no more band.
And for a while, it's felt like we're always on the verge of breaking up.
It's like one person always like threatening, being all, I'm going to quit.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I think it's everyone's lately has been so on edge. We're all just going at each other, and we just forget that we're like friends that like to play music.
Yeah, but we're
but we're trying.
The thing of like that like 6-way marriage thing that he was talking about.
It's true, bro.
We all know that we can lean on each other and support each other, and we all love each. Like there was one time I was doing a gig because I have like a little DJ business too. I just had to like promote that real quick.
DJ Night Owl.
If anyone needs a wedding DJ. But I was doing a gig and I needed like a certain chord or stuff. Like, you know how many different chords there are and all that for a mic. I just called Nevin on a Saturday at like 9 p.m. out of anyone. And I was just like, hey, can you come bring me this cable? He was there in like 30 minutes with it. Yeah. Like we'll bend over backwards for each other.
That's the thing. We really do all love each other like brothers.
Yeah.
But that's why it can get so heated, because brothers aren't scared of talking to each other truthfully, right? It's not like we have to just like, we're not passive aggressive at all, which is a good thing because there's no like behind your back gossip.
Yeah.
But it's also a bad thing because it can get heated quick.
Oh yeah.
Face to face. It's like, fuck you.
And no one wants to be wrong. Who wants to be wrong? That's part of like, we all need ego checks. Yeah. We all need to shut the fuck up and just listen sometimes. All of us, like, it's just what it is. We're all human.
Well, that's
it's tension, bro. Sometimes
that's a human problem,
yeah.
But that's
times 6.
Yeah, that's a problem that goes back to like the biblical times. That's Cain and Abel, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
That's a very real thing, and I think it's important to recognize that. But also, I think speaking public, as big as this publicly as you want to call it, but like speaking publicly about that. You know, someone's going to see this and be like, oh, it's not just me.
No.
Or it's not just us. No. Because everyone, just like you guys were saying a little bit earlier, we were talking about the record deals and like the fame and what people see from, you know, artists on like glamorous Instagram, live show perspective of things. Mm-hmm. You know, you see a band as talented as you guys, where you're all in sync, you're all doing things so well. It's like, oh, shit. band practice must be fucking fun for these guys. They just show up, they play, they fucking high five, and just go back home. But no, it's like
sometimes,
and sometimes it is like that,
sometimes,
which is great. I mean, if it was all shitty, all bad, all the time, then it wouldn't turn to what you guys have. True. It just wouldn't.
It wouldn't. We do have a chemistry and a brotherhood that's important, and we all know that deep down.
Yeah,
that's the thing. We let our egos and our daily, we all have our own daily bullshit, and by the time we get to practice, like that just comes to a head.
Yeah.
And someone could just say the wrong fucking snarky thing, and it's a
yeah.
Think about it, right? Let's say Zach's had a terrible day as a firefighter. I've had a terrible day unclogging toilets as a landlord and working a 10-hour shift. Nick's had a terrible day. Everyone's had a terrible day, and someone just says something slightly wrong, and they don't even mean to be mean, and everyone all of a sudden is at each other's throats, bro. It's just reality. We gotta remember, we're friends. We do love each other. We really love each other. Like, we love to be on stage together. We love to write songs. It'll be nice when it's our full-time job.
Because so much good comes out of it. Like, we learn how to communicate with each other better.
Yeah.
And also,
we apologize too.
This is a quote from Toby. Like, we'll be in this crazy heated argument at practice, then we all come together, like, settle our differences, and then when we jam right after we have a crazy argument,
makeup sex
literally is like what makeup sex feels like. It is like
it's true, bro.
It is
it's our only way to release.
We are in the pocket. It's like
we look at each other, we start grinning. Yeah. All right, I can forgive you.
It's just whenever a jam comes after a fight, orgasmic. It's
the
crazy.
tension actually is probably useful, because if you think about it, if no one gave a fuck and no one fought because no one cared,
right,
there'd be, if everyone was just indifferent, we wouldn't do anything special.
It's like, why are we here?
Yeah, it'd be like, well, I'll just go home.
No, and learning to communicate is never a thing that anyone's going to perfect.
No, and we're all different.
It doesn't matter who you are.
And we're all different, so it's hard to communicate. Like, everyone's communication style in our band is different, and so that's hard. It's like, no, we're not like all the same at all. We live different, we talk different, and so it's like sometimes it's just a clash, but it works, I guess.
Yeah, and we're just all doing like our own thing too. Like, we have to have
busy.
like our 9-to-5s and stuff, like our normal day stuff, and that
wears down on
stresses you
everyone.
out enough.
Yeah.
Well, not even just having a 9-to-5, like the time that we're all we're still all growing up.
Yeah.
Right.
And the time that we're growing up in is not the time is ever, like, life is ever easy, but this one right now,
It's a frustrating time.
it's starting to kick up into high gear.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you're far left, far right, down the middle, left leaning right, or middle leaning right, middle leaning left. It is a hard time to be around right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an unprecedented time. We've never had anything like this.
Yeah, well, in recent memory.
Yeah.
It's been very, very strange. And I think
that's an understatement.
And I think a big thing for me, at least, and a lot of my friends, we'll have these conversations, inebriated or not. And we'll talk about, like, well, what do we believe growing up? Like, what do we believe now? And like, what lies were we sold growing up? And it was that America's the best. We're the number one. We do no wrong. We are the shit.
Yeah.
You can't question us.
That's a hard one.
And it's like, okay, that's what we were sold.
Yeah.
We're the Call of Duty generation.
Yeah, bro.
We show up, we blow things up, we go home.
Well, we saw our great grandparents who were World War II veterans.
Right.
And we looked up to them. They were role models. They were classy. They were hard workers.
And then we didn't hear too much about the Vietnam guys.
No, because they got spat on.
Didn't hear too much about the first Gulf War guys. And we were so young, we didn't question why.
Yeah.
Right? And then now, now that the war on terror is over, quote unquote, and we see the pullout of Afghanistan, how horrible that was.
Yeah,
and then, because one of the big lies that we were sold on, not the fucking conspiratorial, because it's real, about 9/11 was that the Saudis didn't do it. Well, what did Biden just release? Did you guys see that? How it was funded and planned by the Saudis? The people that we were buying oil from, supplying weapons to, they were the ones that orchestrated 9/11. Yeah. So is it the
Don't
veil?
Get me started, bro.
Yeah, the veil.
I know this guy.
Don't get me started. I could come back and me and you just go on a conspiracy loophole for hours, bro.
Because the veil is getting pulled back on, like, it's like we're seeing the wizard in Oz, right? We're seeing the great wizard.
Yep.
And it's unnerving for a lot of people, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Right, and rightfully so. And there's I can't remember if the Chinese wrote it and the Russians adopted it, or it was the other way around. But it's this, I don't want to call it like a manifesto, but it's like this long essay. And it's how to destabilize and dissolve the United States.
Oh, I've seen this. They actually made it into video training documentaries, too, where they talk about breaking up the family unit.
Yes.
They talk about taking intellectuals into colleges and promoting communism.
Yes.
They basically brainwash you into thinking it's a good idea to give up ownership of property. And
yes.
and
it started out in the 80s.
It's really scary.
Well, late 70s,
and we're
early
like
80s.
there right now.
No, we're deep. We're knuckle deep.
Colleges are brainwashing people who are smart kids, by the way. They just are getting told by the professors who are told to listen to.
And they're told to trust.
Yeah, of course. They're their professor.
And that's one of the things I've noticed with like colleges is, so UNM's free now.
Pisses me the fuck off,
And
by the
it's
way.
like, and they're lowering like the standards to get into universities and colleges and stuff.
Well, because
like
in a good world, that's a good thing.
Right.
In a perfect world, that's a great. You want an educated mass. If you want your country to be the best, you want to garner winners. You want to garner people that are well educated, well articulated, well spoken, so they can go out and create good things in the world.
But UNM is not making people well educated.
It's not. And
I hated UNM.
I hate it right now.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I hate it right now.
So, and I'm not trying to offend anyone.
This is my third try. Yeah, this is my third try at UNM. Yeah.
I spent 5 years there. I got my engineering degree. Hated all of it because it's the most inefficient money grab scam.
It's a scam. No, it's a scam.
It really is, and I don't really care what anyone says. And by making that free, first of all, pisses me the fuck off because I worked through all of that trying to pay for it, right? And secondly, there already is a lottery scholarship that you only need a fucking 2.5 for. If you can't study hard enough to get a 2.5,
Me in high school.
but it's different when you're paying. It's different when you're paying for your own college, right? You're working on your future, right?
Facts.
It's like if you're gonna piss away a free lottery scholarship because you can't make C's,
Yeah.
then fuck off. I'm
Yeah.
not paying for your college out of my taxes.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah.
if I look back at high school me,
Right.
nobody should have been paying for my schooling.
Exactly.
Nobody.
And second,
Sounds like dumbass.
And second or third of all, whatever I'm on now, because I'm renting, it's like if you're if you're gonna go to college out of state, pay ridiculous tuition, get $300,000-$400,000 in debt for a degree that's unemployable when you get out, and you weren't smart enough to research that before you went and took on $400,000 of debt, you're probably not smart enough to be in college anyway. And I'm not paying your fucking salary back because I went to community college, tried to keep my debt as low as possible, worked through the whole thing to pay it off, to not have debt, and paid for it myself.
Well, that's the
and
problem.
that pisses me off. And blue collar people who go to trade school, they don't get their fucking debt relieved. Bullshit.
There needs to be a higher age into people, or the higher age for people to get student loans. Because the idea...
Well, student loans, they fuck them from the jump.
Yeah,
they're scamming people from the beginning.
The idea that you're going to get an 18-year-old that knows what they're doing. Because we all know what we were doing at 18 years old. All of us.
Yeah.
And they're going to sign a paper that says that I'm going to now get anywhere between $100,000 to $500,000. And I'm going to be able to pay that off?
Absolutely not.
No.
Would a bank loan an 18-year-old $500,000 for a house?
Or a business? Or a car?
Or
No.
For nothing. For nothing.
And it's the only debt you can't get out of through bankruptcy.
That's why it's the perfect scam.
It's ridiculous.
And and the funny thing is they'll loan you $500,000 for a fucking communications degree, or like some underwater basket weaving degree. And it's like, dude, you know that the people in the college, they know there's no job for you when you get out.
Yep.
And they're giving you $500,000 in debt, and you're going to be making $40,000 for the next 12 years, or
if you're
15
lucky.
if you're lucky, and you're going to eat 40% of that in taxes. You're never going to pay that off. No. You're stuck in the matrix for the rest of your life, and they fucked you.
Andrew Tate. Okay, yeah, you're stuck in the matrix.
Well, you're just stuck in the system, right? Like, I'm not trying to like go on that tangent.
No,
but,
I'm kidding.
It's
but
true
yeah,
though.
It is true. No, there's an element of truth.
It's not
to that.
cool at all.
And what's scary to me?
And they take trade school out of high schools now.
Yeah.
Because you can be so skilled as a plumber, electrician.
My buddy
mechanic,
upstairs, he's making buku bucks right now as an electrician.
Because there's no one willing to do that work anymore, and there's no one skilled enough to do that work anymore.
Right.
Everyone's got a communications degree.
Right.
What are you going to build with that?
I have nowhere to talk because I am going for film. But let me tell you,
films get made.
Exactly.
Communications don't.
Yeah, it's strange, right? Like
movies gross money.
Yeah. Well,
that's a business.
If you make it that far. If you make it that far.
But that's
right.
like us too, if we make it that far.
But like what's scary to me is you have that as a platform and that's been there for years, right? And then we go back to what we were saying about the destabilization thing. You now inject, again, I don't care if you're hyper left, hyper right. I think we can all agree that injecting the idea that everything that we believe in or everything that we know and recognize is somehow racist, sexist, transphobic, that's a bit far. Because the word or the phrase "you're a racist," the word "fascist," the word "communist" have lost all meaning.
Yeah, because they get used. It's like the boy who cried wolf. They're used all the
Yes.
time. And those are strong words that should be reserved for when it's real.
Yes.
If someone is really a racist and has hate in their soul for another person of skin color, yes, you should say it. But it's thrown around for everyone.
Right.
Like, oh my
Well,
God,
'cause, like,
you
I-
look at someone wrong, you're a racist.
I had to write a
It's like,
paper.
what the fuck?
I thought this class was going to be cool, and I was sorely mistaken. So one of my classes I'm taking is film history, focusing on post-apocalyptic cinema. Now,
Okay.
that sounds pretty kick-ass, right? You see that on your course list, and it's like, bro, I'm going to watch fucking nuclear war movies.
So what movies are on that list?
So dope ass movies. Like I've watched, and most of these movies I've already seen, right?
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head, Book of Eli, Planet of the Apes, World War Z,
All good.
28 Days Later.
That's a good one.
Great movie.
That has Cillian Murphy in it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's a good one.
And then I watched the old school Omega Man and The Last Man on Earth, which was Vincent Price, great movie. And then and coming up, I have to watch, like, I know Shaun of the Dead's coming up, which is a great movie. And then 12 Monkeys is coming up, which is another great movie. And there's a couple more that are like solid films.
Yeah.
Now I had to write a paper. And the long story short is the analysis and comparison that I made between 28 Days Later and the Book of Eli was that, now look, and I still believe this, because that's my problem, is at the end of this, I wrote a paper that I believe 0% of.
See, and that's what happens in college all the time.
I
which is
believe
bullshit, by the way. Side note.
0%. No, you're good.
Yeah.
When I watched 28 Days Later, have you seen 28 Days Later?
No. I've seen Book of Eli, but not.
28 Days Later is fantastic. It set like the new standard for the modern zombie movie. And they're not really even zombies, but they set like, because the movie behind you was the standard. The original Dawn of the Dead by George Romero.
Oh, yeah.
That was the standard until 28 Days Later came out. And basically it's based in London. And it starts out with these animal rights activist people freeing these chimpanzees who are getting experimented on. But what what the scientists were doing, they're trying out a new virus, and it went completely wrong. And the guy, when he's getting assaulted, he's like, "Don't set them free. They have rage. Don't do it."
Oh yeah.
They set the monkeys free. Monkeys kill them, and then 28 days later, everyone is turned into these. They act like zombies, but they're these fast running, like they're full with rage. Like they beat the fuck out of you. They gouge your eyes out. They fucking rip out your throat. It's violent as fuck, and it's good. And it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And so when I watched that movie, and I've seen it easily 20 times, like no shit, easily 20 times. When I watched that movie, I think that it's at the core of it, it's the need for human connection, right? Because the first like 15 minutes of that movie, you're stuck with Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
He wakes up from a coma in a hospital.
Abandoned city, right?
Yeah, he walks out into London. It's completely empty. It's like
Walking Dead.
It's like I Am Legend or Walking Dead. I mean, have you seen I Am Legend, right?
Wake up from a hospital in an abandoned city.
Like remember? Oh yeah,
They
literally
all start,
Walking
they
Dead.
actually all start like that. It's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so if you look at the opening scene of I Am Legend, where he's driving through New York in the Mustang, it's pretty much that, but in London. So it's completely empty. It's eerie as fuck, right? Yeah. So he's lonely, right? He meets up with some people. People die. They survive. They end up making it to the military compound. And all that craziness happens.
Yeah.
But it's all about the need for human connection and community, because the community they build between the self-survivors is one of like love and family. And by the end of it, they're actually like kind of like the stereotypical nuclear family, right? It's Jim, Selena, and Hannah.
Yeah.
And then when they make it to this military compound, I don't want to spoil it for you, but like,
Go ahead.
No, say it because I forgot how it ends.
so Jim and Selena, they meet Frank and Hannah, who's a father and a daughter, and they hear this radio transmission, and it's saying we have the cure to infection at this military compound. Like, okay, we're gonna meet up with the
That's
army.
just like I Am Legend 2.
Yeah. What Robert Neville was putting out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he goes out, or the group goes out, and they go to the military compost. Frank dies, and Jim, the main dude, he's getting walked around by the major, the guy who's running the place, and he's like, "What's the survival? What's the answer to survival? Like, do you guys have a cure? Like, is it an antivirus? Like, what is it?" And he goes, "No, you've brought me the answer, and it's women. Women are the answer to survival, or the key to survival.
Making babies?
Making babies, exactly."
I forgot about that.
So Jim is like, "Oh, you're gonna rape my friends? Can't have that." So that's what they try to do. They try to rape Selena and Hannah. And so Jim, it's a great sequence, dude. He goes on this I think he's naked actually, this whole sequence. Maybe he's wearing underwear, but he's like running through this compound, like absolutely, because they're about to go execute him, right? Yeah. He breaks free, And he goes to this fucking bloodthirsty fucking rampage. Like he's running through, like tearing people apart. He stabs a motherfucker with a gun. The final ones, he jumps on this dude and fucking and you see it. He plunges his thumbs into this guy's fucking eyes. Yeah, plunges it fucking in there. It's fucking great. So it saves his friends. They make it out, and they're now the nuclear family because Hannah's like 12, 13.
Yeah.
So my point is that this is a movie about community and family, the need for human connection, the need for love.
Which all good stories are actually about.
Right.
Yeah.
But what the readings led me to believe, and what I had to make the analysis on, is that I put the part about community in there because I just had to kick up that word count. But the articles that I had to read about it and base my thoughts off of, mind you, because I had to use ideas from the journalist or from the scholastic articles. You had to use their ideas and analyze them. Now I fully know this.
Yeah.
And I know that I sold out 100%.
To get
I
the
understand. To get the A.
You prostitute.
But exactly. Oh, I know. But my whole thing is I know that I could have been in there like, this is all bullshit. This is fucking dumb. But
and that's how I am.
Due to the demographic of teacher, I probably would have failed.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Took some C's for that kind of shit.
Yeah, probably would have failed. Yep. So I was like, the idea behind 28 Days Later, in fact, despite everything I've just told you, the real story behind 28 Days Later is that it's a protest from the director because Selena's a black lady. And in Britain, they're all racist. So to have a woman be the foundation of the nuclear family going into the rebirth of London is a brand new idea. It's been untried before, and that's what we need to focus on.
That's such a woke twist on that fucking movie.
And it's like, no.
And of course you're going to get an A at liberal ass U&M.
Like that is not what that movie is about.
At all.
And then my whole thing about that movie is there's a part where Jim is being walked through the military compound. And the major, he set a standard already where it's like these guys who work under him, they are all a uniform. Yeah. There's white dudes, there's black dudes. I think there's like one Asian guy even, but they're all a uniform. They do not fucking matter. And they go outside and they have this zombie, this guy who's been infected. He's a black dude who got turned into a zombie and he's chained up. And the whole point of it is so the major can now find out, they're tracking how long he's been out there. So, like, okay, at a minimum, how long is it going to take the infected to die? Like, how long do we have to survive for? And so I take that as he's being practical. He clearly doesn't see race. He sees gender, but he doesn't see race. So who gives a fuck?
Right, it's days how long the infected are going to live.
But I'm sure you could fill in the blanks.
Yeah, what you wrote for your paper.
On what the fucking
like they had the black guy chained up.
Right.
Isn't that sad that you have to say that kind of shit just to pass a UNM course?
It's ridiculous. And then for
it's bullshit.
To juxtapose that with the Book of Eli, the reading from that one that I had to apply also to 28 Days Later was because I had heard of this trope in movies before, but I never really put a whole lot of credence to it. It's the archetype of the magical Negro. And the idea behind
Washington?
Yes. The idea behind this is this character may or may not have magical powers, whether they do or not, that doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
But the idea, can you do me a favor actually? There's a bag of tobacco right next to you. Yeah. Can you fucking hand that to me?
A bag of tobacco?
This is cha, dude.
Thank you, sir.
What the fuck?
Thank you, sir.
I quit smoking and vaping.
Oh, God bless. How's that treating you?
I hate my life. I'm going to kill myself after this.
Let's do some Red Man.
No, I'm
Have you
right.
ever had it?
No.
It tastes like raisins.
It's gonna be like the Sandlot on the Tilt-A World.
Yeah, dude. No, that's what fucking Copenhagen will do to you for sure.
Copenhagen. My cousins dip Copenhagen. They're real men. I'm just a boy.
See.
Zins. That's the new thing too.
That fucks me up. That's
Zins
witchcraft.
Gives you a good high.
That shit is witchcraft. No, this is what I chew. Like, if I'm really stressed out, I'll throw in a Copenhagen, but this is what I just chew on a regular basis.
There you go.
Did you ever hear of a Scooby snack? It's half a cheek of Red Man and half a cheek of a Hubba Bubba tape.
They call that a Scooby snack?
Oh, wait, no. The Big League Chew.
A Big League Chew?
Oh,
Yeah.
the bubble gum?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So you just mix those two together.
It's like a spliff, but for chewing tobacco?
Yeah,
That is fuck. I'm going to try that.
That's funny.
It's rough.
It's the Red Man and the Big League.
Yeah.
But, so the idea is that whether or not they have magical power doesn't really matter. Yeah. But the point of this character is to develop, progress, and eventually get the white character who's the main character, of course, get the white character to their end goal. Now, I applied that. It was easy to apply that 28 days later because Selena's black, Jim's white, supporting character, main character, goal, whatever. He survives. He's hardened. He's a killer. Okay. But in Book of Eli, the black dude's the main character. So I had to kind of reach for a bit. I'm like, where the fuck? Who's the main character? Well,
Denzel.
Right. The main character is Denzel. But like, who's the real main character? Who's the real white main character?
Mila Kunis?
No, it's the world. So I had to fucking yeah.
See, and that's the kind of shit.
And
you're right. That's how papers get at UNM.
Because you've seen Book of Eli, right?
Yeah.
So when he makes it to the end where they go across they row over to Alcatraz, and they give they meet up with Malcolm McDowell's character, who's running the whole compound.
Yeah.
And Eli's already mortally wounded by then, so he gives the whole he recites the entire Bible, right? It's like, okay. Well, he helped that dude. He's white. I'd imagine most of his compound are white. Most of the Gary Oldman's characters were white. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, 1,500 words. We're done.
Nice. And
A+ graduate.
But I submitted it, and I felt kind of shitty.
Yeah, you're a fucking sellout.
Yeah, I felt. No, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, I felt like that. And I was like, fuck, man.
I did that all the time, too. Sometimes I'd get pissed enough to say what I really wanted. I'd get a C in the class, but...
Well, because, and then I had a conversation, because the other class that I'm taking, it's tough as fuck, but the professor's pretty cool. And because I was having a conversation with him, and I kind of said offhand, I was like, well, I kind of figured this would be essential to film school. And he goes, no, stop. Nothing you're doing right now is essential. This is all elective.
Yeah, we're just taking all your money.
No, he goes, dude, film school is not essential. University is not essential.
Yeah, you'll learn what you need on the job.
Yeah, he's like, get that thing. No, he's literally what he said.
Yeah.
He's like, people on movie sets that go to film school are fucking hated. Learn that. And I was like, are you like giving me the red pill I need? Like, what the fuck?
He Andrew Tated you, bro. Mm-hmm. He said, hey, listen here.
Oh, yeah. But, so I just got to a point where I was like, what the Hi, Noah.
Hey, dogs.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, puppy. Hi. What's this dog's name?
The dog has entered the studio. Her name is Nilla.
Oh, Nilla. Hi, Nilla. Nilla Wafer. Oh, you're cute. This is a cute dog, bro. Hey, we're still in your dog, bro.
This is like the best surprise ever.
What's up, man?
Buddy?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Good, man.
What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, buddy.
I think I know him.
Yeah, you all know him. It's just so fucking weird. Because when we first did the episode, me, Nick, and Leroy, they looked at the fucking band and they're like, Joey Salazar, yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah.
Elias Springer, yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, my other roommate, his name's Elias, and then my other roommate's upstairs is David Davison.
What's Elias' last name?
Yeah,
Springer.
I remember all of them.
Is he jacked?
He used to be.
Wait, which one? Who?
I know a guy named Elias who's
Yeah.
jacked as fuck.
Yeah, I remember him.
Does he have a little brother named Nico?
I don't think so. Did someone not close the door? Okay, anyway.
No, he closed the door.
No, my point is like that conversation kind of opened my eyes, mixed with the paper that I wrote, and I was like, "Fuck, man! Like maybe I don't need to do this."
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, who the fuck? Like, because a lot of these people who make it in like the film industry, they all went to like specified schools that are either really fucking expensive. They didn't go to their local university,
Right.
or they went through like because one thing I got taught that not taught like compounded on by this conversation was like networking is so important. And
That's what I was just gonna say.
And that's what I had
with
to learn.
With a podcast, you can network with everyone.
Yeah, and that's what I learned through this.
Yep.
Is like, the likelihood of, aside from my friends that are on this thing, the likelihood that I would have met any of these people outside of the podcast is slim to none.
Yep.
And the likelihood that we'd have had any kind of like significant conversation even lower.
Yeah.
Right. But so taking that, and he goes, yeah, he actually brought it because he knew I did a podcast. Like, you obviously know how to network, but he goes, that's how people make it in the film industry. Is they fucking network and they go to local screenwriting classes, they go to the theater classes, and like you guys have obviously learned that,
Yeah.
right? And you network with the bands, the venues, and that's how you get your shit together. I'd imagine, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like, and then once you establish that relationship, it's just automatic. Like, we used to have to ask to play venues,
Yeah.
right? Now it's like we get hit up a lot. We turn down shit.
Yeah.
How does that
not
feel?
like in a diva like cocky
No,
way,
no,
but like
but-
we're busy and we can't make it. But like,
Right.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's not like we're like.
But that's one of the
"Please let
ways
us
like
come."
we needed to mature as a band too. Because at first, when we would go downtown,
Yeah.
we would just get like I think this might have been right before because Toby straightened this up a lot. before we would just
Said,
like,
listen here, boy.
yeah, we would just get like super wasted right after our shows because we thought we were these like.
You and him taught me
crazy
people
rock
like you, the
stars.
white man cracking the whip.
Yeah,
See?
exactly.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, but,
That's his last name is Gomez.
I know. I'm not real Mexican.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, we would just like be assholes downtown and stuff. Like we would get kicked out of clubs or like just I don't know, just start not treating the venues right or the other bands right and stuff. And you know, when like Toby and Leroy really came in, they were like, all right, we need to like chill out on like kind of just like all of that stuff. Leroy told us more about like being personable,
Like
Yeah,
the antics.
Leroy really did.
yeah, but we're all those people deep down, but we were just like so like saturated in ourselves, and it's like that's what comes down to is the people who can network the best because they actually enjoy people and are, you know. They
But
love
not
people.
fake networking.
Exactly.
You can
because-
tell that shit. You
Oh
can sniff
yeah,
that shit
if
right
someone
out.
has a, someone
Right?
has an angle,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you can
Yeah,
tell
for
right away.
sure.
has an angle for
Right.
sure.
You can tell so fucking fast. Like
Yeah.
people know that we really like to play music. We're down to play at your venue, and we're gonna do our best we can. We'll practice, prepare. Other bands know we like to do what we do. We like to listen to them, and so like it's organic. Like us and the Mango Cakes have a solid relationship.
Yeah.
Us
Oh, we'll just
and
go
the
get beers
rhythms.
with them. Like yeah.
The rhythms,
just
like-
with them, yeah.
Even before I was in the band or Nick, the Rhythms were like you guys' big brothers. Like put you guys on.
Oh yeah, they
to
helped us
Launchpad
out
and
so
shit.
much. Yeah.
Side Montero's down to earth, cool guys.
They
like,
are dope. Those two dudes are dope. Two of
Yeah.
the two of them that I sat with.
Yeah.
Dope as.
you sat with
fuck.
Jaren and Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them are awesome. It's,
Yeah. At first, we didn't know that. We didn't know if they were like actually cool or just being nice. But
But
they,
to
they
do-
actually seem really cool. We've talked to them a lot now.
Yeah.
So
But to do this type of stuff like podcasting or live music, stand-up comedy, you have to be some sort of like an outgoing person or like someone who's willing to talk to people and you
or just be authentically interested.
Was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
a
Like you.
a skill for you guys to be that to
No,
turn
we like to
yourself
see the
into
other
that?
bands. We love it.
Interesting.
We're sometimes like Leroy tells us we got to be at like more events. We all are really busy, so it's kind of hard to always be at all the events to show that love. But we really are like cheerleaders for everyone. Like we've had great times at Rhythm shows, Side Montero
Yeah.
shows, the Mango Cake shows. Like we're all there like singing along. We know their songs. It's fun. It's cool. It's cool to like not be against each other.
That's
I remember
dope.
when we were
Yeah.
in Vegas too, me and Toby were just like, it was Andrea's little brother. Me and you and him were just like walking through one of the hotels or something like that. Me and Toby were just like carrying on this conversation, talking for like an hour straight, just nonstop. And this dude just looks at us, he's like, how are you guys like still talking to each other? How are you guys like still having
This was
a
before we were in the
conversation?
band together.
Yeah, but it was before we were in the
Yeah.
band. Yeah. And like that's just something that all of us do. Like we're all just people who like going out and just have that personality trait, I guess.
Yeah, we see the like the badassness in people, what they're doing.
You
like
have
like
to.
your podcast, bro.
You fucking have.
Well, and also
to.
like same with you. When you were at our show, you came to our show. Like it's not like you just had us like asked us to come on the podcast
Yeah.
and don't know anything about us. Like you saw us play, you know the guys, you kind of know what we're about. You know what I mean?
And so
Like
it's gonna be a good
that's
time.
dope.
Like,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Everyone-
Well, because
Good
obviously
vibes.
I met Nick first.
The Legion.
And-
At Legion.
Yeah, Legion.
Yeah.
And he told me about the band, and he had hit me up, and he was like, "Hey, man, like I'd love to fucking come on." And I was like, and I checked out y'all's music. I was like, okay, I really hope that they're dope people and not
Yeah.
just really talented people, because they're talented as fuck.
Thanks, man.
But hopefully
That
they're dope
means a lot.
people.
Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I love listening to you guys' music.
Thank you.
And then the fact that like y'all are dope to sit down with, like, yes.
I feel like we connect with almost everyone. I mean,
We're all well.
everyone seems pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Well, and see, you have to have that mindset. And that's something that I had to learn, because like up until I started this, very much introverted, very much like I appreciate people. I have a level of respect for anybody, but I'm not really that guy who's gonna go out. I never went out.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't that dude that went out to bars or went out to, like I had my party phase and it fizzled fast.
Mine too. I'm not really that going out kind of guy.
I had my phase where I went out, I partied and debauchery, but like I was like, nah, we're done. This is not. I see where this path leads for me.
Yeah.
And
For me, it
That's
leads
how I
to
am too,
hangovers
man. Yeah.
and wasted days because I'm worthless when I drink.
Yeah, I got too out of control and just made messes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I spent like 10 months sober just this last year.
Yeah,
just
for
to,
real.
like,
Good.
Chill out.
And
on
it saved the
everything.
band, bro.
Yeah,
For real.
Almost got kicked out of the band because of
Oh,
like
shit.
just all of that. So
We have some
was a
fucking
good
band
year.
stories, man.
Yeah,
That's-
we've been
we've already
through it
gone through
together.
like some Eagles level shit in 2 years, 3 years.
Well, it's important to recognize when
Yeah.
that can be a
Exactly.
problem, and
Yeah.
that's where it got for me. It was like this was becoming a problem.
Yeah.
and it got to a point where I was making messes socially like with relationships that I'd have with people, like friendships that I've had. Huge. And that's and it was something that I'm still trying to apologize for. Yeah. You know, for the shit that went down 4 years ago.
We're all human.
Because I was just being an asshole. Yeah. Right?
Everyone's an asshole sometimes.
Yeah, especially when you're young and you're dumb and you're a little drunk.
You have
maybe a lot of drunk.
It can get.
But it's cool when like you can actually see that and realize that and you actually care enough to try to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's so many people that like going from, because Albuquerque's so small, you know so many people from high school. Like just now, it's crazy.
Yeah, we're like, I know him.
Oh, well, fucking, I go to your guys' show. So Jamie, she was on the podcast.
Yeah.
I've become friends with her, now her husband.
Yeah.
You're dating the husband's sister or something like that, right?
Sister.
Oh,
and
what?
Then,
really?
Yeah. So like they're connected that way. And then, you guys know my roommates. Yeah. And then it's so like people.
Played football with Nick. We dated sisters. It's weird, bro.
It's connected in like our age group.
Yeah.
And if you're in our age group trying to be an entertainer,
very small circle.
It's a small circle, and it's a part of it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Right? A part of it's kind of scary, but a lot of it, at least for me anyway, it's become liberating.
Absolutely, bro. Because it is scary. You're right. Because like when you are outside of the circle, and someone tells you like, "Oh yeah, I want to do music or I want to make a podcast," most people in their head they're like, or verbally they're like, "Yeah, cool, man, that's cool."
Right.
In their head they're like, "Yeah, you're just a starving artist, like loser." You know what I mean?
Or you're just a dumbass with a dream.
Right. Because you've been told since you're fucking little that if that's a 1 in a fucking billion chance, right? Like you're not gonna be a famous rock star. Shut the fuck up. Like you might as well.
Well, the chances are 1 in a billion, but the people who go out and do it are 1 in a million.
Right.
Or less.
Yeah, you have to set yourself apart.
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, how many people for us? Like, how many people actually can play an instrument? Right? Very little. Out of those people who can play an instrument, how many people have gone on stage in front of people? Very little. Less, right? Out of those people, how many of those people have played in front of a pretty big audience that had a kick-ass show? Less. Out of those people, how many write their own fucking songs and stay consistent and work at it? Less. Like, if you really think about it, it's not 1 in a billion. There's not as many people competing at the level you are as you think. You guys just stay consistent and believe in yourself. Like, it's a numbers game. We talk about this all the time. Like, and right when this podcast started, you were talking about, like, you gotta suck for a while. Like, with songwriting, bro. Like, we talk about this. It's a numbers game. That shit's hard. You write something that is your baby, like you were telling me on the phone the other day, you think is amazing. It doesn't turn out. It doesn't get received well. It can be defeating, but you got to just keep writing because not every fucking song is going to be great. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to write you got to flesh your bad songs out. Thankfully, we fleshed our bad songs out a long time ago. Right. Now we're trying to flesh our good songs out so we can eventually someday hit a great song.
Well, and and to be devil's advocate, be open to the fact you're still going to have some sucky times.
Yeah, man.
Be open to the fact you're going to pump.
We're kind of having one right now.
Like you're going to pump out a song you're going to love.
Yeah.
You are going to love the song.
Yeah.
And it might suck.
Right.
It might be a horrible song.
It might.
But it's like, okay, well, what can you
learn?
Time
will tell.
Yeah, what can you learn from that?
Yeah.
What can you extrapolate from that and then move forward?
And that's the thing that I kind of try to say to the band. And like Zach knows, like I always say this kind of shit is like, we can't be afraid to like fail.
Yeah.
Like if we need to just keep writing, get our bad ideas out, get more practice. And like, if it doesn't do anything, it doesn't do anything. But like, we can't be scared to put shit out.
Yeah. But that's what's hard with it is because like there was one song, we went and recorded it.
Going crazy.
3 different times. We spent like $1,500
or more
on one song that we weren't even going to release. Like, so it's just a money.
That's a good song too.
Going Crazy turned out good, but for a long time we fucked it up. It was awful. Yeah, like it sounded great at practice. We couldn't record it right. We scrapped it like twice. It took like 8 months to get that song out.
Yeah.
We wrote that song last year.
But yeah, it's the numbers game. Like we just keep going.
But now it's our number 2 song on Spotify. So I guess it was worth it.
Going Crazy number 2.
Yeah. Start Moving, Going Crazy, Sundress, All Night Long, Angels.
Yeah.
That's our top 5, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, it's cool to see shit like. And that's another thing, too, is, like, it can get defeating when you've been in a band for 2, 3... I've been in the band 2 years. You guys have been in a lot longer. 3, 4.
Yeah.
But you've only been putting out music since 2020. So, if you've been in a band for a few years... What?
You caught that, too, right? You got that, too.
No, I'm talking... What? That wasn't a secret. What was so fucking funny, huh?
I'm just making sure you got that too.
I'm saying the first 3 years are like training camp.
Small slight to you, but we're here.
That's this. We're like
we have the receipts, bro.
From.
We got
like,
the.
That's funny.
What I mean,
that's funny.
Is like
no, don't retract it. Stand behind it. That's hilarious.
No, for real though. You guys' first music, like at first, you guys were learning instruments, right? Like it wasn't like you were like oh, we're a fucking official band.
Right.
You got, like you were saying,
Well,
you and Johnny were learning guitar. Yeah. Nevin was learning guitar and like singing.
And okay, so there was this one time I sent Toby just like a text just between me and him. I think I was all like fucked up or something like that, and I was just like, dude, since you came in the band, thank you for everything you've done for us. Like this dude
I remember that day.
Like we were at a point where we weren't doing anything. We were so stagnant. Toby came in, we brought him in. This dude got us on the radio and honestly wrote us probably 3 bangers within 6 months of him being in the band.
That's sick.
It was crazy. Well, and that's one of the reasons too, because it was hard, like, to bring in another guitarist in the band, and especially like the way me and Toby go back. It was
we should rehash this story. It's a good story.
So, yeah. Well, what part?
I don't know.
Yeah. So,
like,
just bringing him in and stuff.
You say
like
your
that,
piece
like,
first, and I'll go off of it because I have some shit.
Sounds good. So it was weird to bring Toby into the band anyway, just because me and him have like this weird history, and then we already had one guitarist. It was weird to bring in another person completely.
True.
But he was so driven and motivated, and he like met with us before, and he was like, "This is what I can do for you guys. I can help you guys out so much. Like what you guys are doing."
Oh, so you had a whole sales pitch, huh?
Yeah, for real. I believed in it, for real.
We honestly weren't even gonna take him in. We were just like, "Oh, this guy wants to kind of play in our band. Like, I guess we'll let him, like, because he's cool. But what can he really do?" We wanted to make sure he was gonna be able to help us. That we were gonna be able to like.
Yeah, this is true.
Well, you need to be a valued asset.
Absolutely,
that's a fact.
And I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I agree for sure. Keep going. I'm not trying to cut you off.
But yeah, I mean, and then we let him in, and he did all that stuff. He ended up helping us out and everything like that. But yeah, it was
good times.
Oh yeah, for
Fuck
sure.
yeah.
Well, now it's great now because
it's great
like,
now. We're kicking ass.
Yeah, exactly. Like the lineup now that we have is amazing. Like we all kick ass in our own way. We all contribute in our own way. Everyone that we brought on since me and Johnny started, because we recruited Nevin.
Leroy?
Leroy. We had a girl keyboard player for a while that didn't work out. We had one other guitar player that ended up leaving too.
I want to dig into that a little bit, the female dynamic. So did that like, not, again, I don't want to come off as fucking like sexist or whatever, but like
say what you guys
when
say.
you bring a female into a group of guys, it often, frankly, it just doesn't work out.
I wasn't around for that. I can't speak for that.
Like, it just doesn't work out. And it's not just and that's because the guys are a bunch of fucking women haters. It's not because the females are a bunch of man haters. It's just because it brings a different energy.
Different chemistry.
Now, it can synergize really well. Like, have you guys ever heard of a metal band? They're called Ginger. Mm-mm. Oh, fucking check them out.
Okay.
I think there's only one female. It's the singer. And she has beautiful harmonic, like, vocals. And then she fucking screams like a dude. She's
Red Light Cameras has a female singer, all male band, and
insane.
she's bad fucking ass.
Yeah.
Bro.
like that happens, right? For sure. But then other times it can happen where, like, it just changes the energy. It's weird in the room. It can just
for us, I think it might be weird.
The creative flow just isn't there.
Well, I think it's you just hold them to the same standard as anyone else. Like if you have to make sure they're actually like, we're not trying to be a super PC band and be like, we need to bring in a girl just so that way we look better to an audience.
Yeah, we don't care
it's
about
like,
that.
If they can show up and they have like good vocals or they can play the shit out of their instrument,
Then they're in.
or they just get along with the guys too, because that's huge. Like Leroy wouldn't have been able to be in the band if he just didn't get along with us. Like everyone has to be able.
Well, that's
to
why White Zombie broke up. If you know that story.
Yeah.
So Rob Zombie's first band.
Yeah.
For people who are listening and don't really know that, he started out in a band called White Zombie, and they were good. They had 2-3 really good albums.
Yep.
In my opinion. Anyway.
Highway 66, is that one of Rob Zombie's single songs? Where he went
Thunder
solo?
Kiss 65.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Thunder Kiss.
Yeah.
Thunder Kiss 965. Yeah. Anyway, so it got to the point, and he talks about this, where in their last 12, 18 months together when they were touring, they would take, they had the money to do it, but they would take separate tour buses.
That sucks, bro.
Because obviously the way he tells it is that they were like pretty much planning a coup against him, but I'm sure he was a bit of an asshole.
Probably.
Right?
Both
and
sides probably have truth to it.
Yeah, I'm sure that he was a bit of an asshole, but he didn't really try to be.
Right.
And I'm sure that they were being a bit of a dick, and they didn't try to be. But at the end of the day, they are touring on different tour
That
buses.
sucks, dude. I hope we never ever get to that point.
That's
We are
crazy.
assholes to each other, but we know that. Like, and we apologize.
And so that's why they ended up going their separate ways.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But, and not to cut you off completely, like, that's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's hard you have to make sure the chemistry is just right. Like, we would never be against, like, I don't know if that's exactly what you're kind of going towards. Like, we're not opposed to having a girl in the band, and we can handle it. Like, we all have our own female friends.
Well, how did that go about with bringing the female player in, leaving? You know, you have to drop names, obviously, but like, how did that go?
Yeah, it was one of Johnny's roommates when we were living in the Harvard house where the band really started. She was actually living there, so she was a sick ass keyboard player. Like, this girl could shred a freaking keyboard. It was insane. She was gonna be a good asset to us, but she got along great with everyone. Everything worked out really good. Just her schedule. It was just one of those things.
That sucks because that's real.
Yeah, you remember Ann, right?
No.
You met her?
I met her, but I didn't know she was even a keyboard player for you guys.
Yeah, we played one gig at a different bluegrass hopper, and she played.
That's wild.
We used to be the Sandy Pecans.
What the fuck? That name sucks dick.
Swear to God.
That's a horrible name.
No, it was.
It
was from an Always Sunny episode.
Oh.
They called themselves the Pecan Sandies. Actually,
that's funny.
Yeah,
that's
so
stupid,
we went as that name, but yeah, she played that show with us and
the
stuff.
Sandy Pecans.
Yeah,
oh boy.
Yeah, and I fucked up the name because like I was like doing the frontman stuff like before Leroy really came in, and yeah, I called us the Sandy Pecans instead of the Pecan Sandies.
That's fine. I get that.
Yeah, but
still shitty though.
Ann would have been great as a keyboard player and stuff, but things just don't work out sometimes, and everything happens for a reason.
To be fair though, like, I'm kind of thankful we have all guys in the band because we are abrasive sometimes and not meaning, or a lot of time. We don't mean to, but we are actually like very direct, and we're all raised to not talk like that to women. So like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want that. It'd make me uncomfortable.
Well, you want to like, I was gonna say this a little bit earlier, but you kind of want, like, obviously you don't want to be mean. You don't want to be purposely hurtful.
Yeah,
but
we don't try to be. We do sometimes.
But if you have a genuine criticism against someone in your band that you feel is either actively or about to drag you guys down, you need to nip that in the bud.
We do it. You
need to.
And I'm honestly kind of proud of it. It's brotherly love. Like, it's no fake shit. It's sometimes really mean, but we will call each other the fuck out, cuss each other out. Yeah. We'll call each other or apologize or talk it out, but like, or you and Johnny will duke it out. But like, it's for real. Like, it's not like some fake shit. Like, we're at practice, like, hey, how are you? And then we're talking shit to each other behind our back. We don't talk shit about each other. We talk shit to each other, which is good. Because there's no fake shit, but it's bad because it gets confrontational.
Well, what's the alternative? Because there's going to be confrontation anyway.
Right.
And you'd rather the confrontation be direct.
Yeah.
Or it's, I heard you're talking shit, dude.
Exactly.
You want to figure this out?
Shit, and that sucks, and then you don't have trust for anyone. It's better because, like, we know how each other stand with each other. It's like, if I'm pissed at you, I will call you out. You will call me out. We'll call Nick out. It happens. Like, at least you know what each other are feeling about each other.
And again, the end product is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Again, the end product is pretty, like, I watched you guys play that night because I used to play guitar a little bit.
Nice.
I was the fucking 3-chord hero. You know, I didn't know shit.
That's how we all started, bro.
Power chords were my best friend.
All of us.
You know, I put the distortion on my little
makes everything sound
like $100 amp. I was like, that's how they do it. Yeah. That's cool. You know, but I never really went anywhere with it. I lost the love, and you know, that's how these things go. But I watch like you because you're a bunch of dudes playing instruments, singing. My age, I'm like, oh shit, so people my age can do it.
Fuck, we have fun though, bro.
It's like I'm now living my dream vicariously through you guys.
That's what Leroy always says. He's like, that's why people gravitate towards us because like we're showing that like we can have a good time together as young musicians and we don't have to. You know what I mean? It's cool.
A bunch of young dudes from Albuquerque who actually said, "Hey, I like music. I'm gonna do something about it."
Yeah.
Because everyone is like the karaoke hero in their car. Yeah. I mean, everybody is, but then to actually get on stage,
right?
Dude, I will never fucking sing in front of anybody. Good Christ Almighty!
Yeah, props to Nevin and Leroy. That'll take a lot of balls.
Well, just to get on a stage in front of everyone, because that's what people have told me after shows. They're like, the fact that you can even get up there and do that and be that comfortable.
But that doesn't even make us nervous, though. Remember, we were at Marble, and we were just like, man, this feels great. This feels at home.
Oh yeah, it's just second nature at this point. Like, well, anything though, you get better at with time.
But we're not solo. If you were up there with a bar stool by yourself,
I
think I'd be extremely nervous. I have these 5 guys that are my brothers that I have confidence in the fact knowing we practiced our dicks off for 2 years. Of course, we know the songs.
Well, and that's so Joey. He still does it every now and again. But when I first started this podcast, he was the moderator. He'd sit behind there. So that's why there's a computer and a monitor there. Because every so often I'll have him sit behind there. He has his own mic.
Nice.
And if we had to look something up, because I talk out of my ass 100% of the time. So if we have to look something up or watching a video, you know, a little bit of reference to or context what we're talking about, I'll have him there.
Nice.
And so when I first started this out, I was like, fuck, I'm nervous as shit to talk to somebody. Having that safety net there without even him knowing he's a safety net was really fucking nice.
Fuck yeah.
Really nice. And again, schedules conflict. He's a firefighter too. So, you know how it is. He's going off and on shifts. He's picking up overtime, and he's got a girlfriend, and he's doing this and he's doing that. So it's like, we can't always rely on each other to do this, but thankfully I've gotten to a point where I can more or less do this solo.
Yeah.
So I totally get that.
Right. It's a big thing. We look at each other on stage and like it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
I'll be rocking, Zach will be rocking. We'll look at each other. We're like, oh yeah, we're locked in. We'll look at each other, give each other the eyes. We just know it's like working.
And I would imagine
Nick's going crazy. Leroy's fucking jumping jacks everywhere.
That's what I don't get with like bands like from the 80s, like Motley Crue, Chili Peppers, whoever else that were known for like drinking heavy on stage.
Oh yeah.
That's what's crazy is because alcohol will take off the nerves pretty quick. But
fuck
we're realizing the real truth of like if you're genuinely fucked up on stage,
it shows.
You can't play for shit.
Well, you got to also remember too.
True.
Bands like Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, where they would do that, they were getting drunk and playing from the start. That was normal for them.
How they did it.
That inebriated state was how they played.
Right. Yeah.
They got to a point, and that's why they had so many problems with drugs and alcohol. They didn't know how to play otherwise. Right. And then, so like you guys were saying, that you get up on stage, you feel comfortable because you're in that positive feedback loop at a good show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're getting that positive feedback. You want to be there more, do that more, so you can get that dopamine hit again.
Yeah, that's a high, bro.
It's a false dopamine hit, but their hit is coming from the booze. Yeah. It's coming from the drugs. And then they get off stage, they take the couple girls from the crowd, and they go to their party bus. Yeah. More drugs and alcohol. And they're getting more positive feedback. They've got another nameless woman who's attractive, you know. And that is what they've wound themselves into. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys start out from a point of like, we're doing this because we love it. Not that they didn't love it. Right. We're doing it because we love it, and we're sober doing it. I'm sure you have a couple of drinks where you
we're not sober doing it, but we had to draw the line of being fucked up.
Right. Like you're not getting fucked up to do it. You're not getting completely blitzed. Like there's a
Nick and Leroy are sober doing it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because Leroy's the front. Like Nevin and Leroy are the frontmen, but like Leroy is really critical for crowd interaction. So to be that sober. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's a skill. You know what I mean? Like, most people, they could maybe get somewhere like that if they were fucked up. But, like, if you're stone cold sober, like Leroy, think about how much he's jumping around and talking to the crowd and, like,
because
sober, bro.
There was a podcast I was listening to, and I forget the name, but Bert Kreischer was the guest. And he's known for being drunk. Oh. All the time. Like, that's his whole thing as a comic, is he's fucking hammered. Yeah. And he's a dude that became famous from The Machine. Stand-up routine. Have you ever seen that? You ever heard Bert Kreischer? Really?
No, is it cool if I piss super?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we take a pee break?
Yeah, pee break. Let's go.
Cross some streams?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to wear a headset?
No, I'm good.
Oh, come on, bro. We're all wearing.
He has one.
Oh, okay.
He has to wear it. He's the host.
Got you.
He's got to look cool.
No, you're right.
No, and I'll be honest. This is something I want to do for a while. Cool. A 4-person episode. I don't think I've done 4 people yet.
Really?
Never.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah.
Our first foursome.
We haven't?
Yeah, it was like that first live one we did. It was terrible.
That doesn't count.
It was horrible.
That is so. When we first did this, we did. So he was the first episode.
Nice.
Oh, we're back.
You were the cherry popper.
Yeah. So he was the first
cherries.
one, and but we did a live stream.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was doing. None of us did, but certainly me, right? And I should have known what I was doing, but I didn't. I did no research, and so we set up this live stream, and I have no webcam. Like, no, like, external webcam that's, like, any kind of quality. I just have the integrated on the laptop. So what I did, I took the laptop and just set it way far away to get all, 7 of us?
Damn.
8 of us?
7 of us.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just set that up. I'll hook up 2 really shitty mics to the computer and just pass a mic around. That'll work awesome, right? Come on, no.
No, you couldn't hear anyone else except the guy who had the mic.
Oh, we couldn't even hear anybody.
It was like the therapy circles where you have to talk when you have the ball.
The talking stick.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah.
Was that all here? Is that
No. This was back when I lived in the Heights at the time, and I lived in the Heights, and it was in because we all started. I started the shit out in my garage, and yeah, we all just because we had like this. We had the brown dining table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had the brown dining table, and then we had this, and we made like a giant L, and we thought it was gonna work, and it didn't work. Spoiler alert.
That's how you learn, bro.
Yeah, did not fucking work, and
That's all right.
I would love to learn like how to do a true like live stream, like a live broadcast, like hook these guys up to like an interface or a computer, hook all these up, like buy like a really good like $500 like version of that guy right there, where I can have like bunch of different channels going. I can get the camera set up for him. So like if he's sitting behind it or anyone else sitting behind, because I go take all this footage and I edit it, put it together. I don't chop anything out, but like I just sync up the audio, change like when the camera cuts, when it doesn't, so you see it the way you see it.
Yeah.
But make it to where professional podcasters do it, where they've got the producer and they're pressing a button. That's all they're doing for the camera changes.
Dang.
That's
all
cool.
they're doing.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's convenient as hell.
Exactly. So that's all they're doing, and I'd love to get that set up, but I've got to
Yeah.
learn and get more money and so on and so
And then
forth.
keep reinvesting. You have all the nice gear next year.
Yeah, so
Hell
I'm happy
yeah.
with what I have now. Like
Hell yeah, this is dope.
Yeah, this is some dope shit.
Got lighting, double camera angles, audio interface, 4 mics. It's fucking sweet.
That's what's hard about this stuff is it's all like so expensive. Like even just like the music stuff too.
Yeah.
Like just my bass alone is like $1,200, and then my rig is $3,000.
Fuck that.
Yeah, the
Hate it.
pedals,
Hate it.
chords, amps. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, I have my little Guitar Center credit card.
But to be fair, Nick has it the worst.
Oh yeah.
Drums are fucked, bro.
Yeah.
Drums are so expensive. I don't know how much they are, but they're not as cheap as our shit.
And they make all these cords with like real like gold and all that kind of stuff too. So
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah,
it's
like
crazy.
the XLR cables
Oh,
that get
that shit.
integrated in the boom arms, I think alone are like $100.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, shit.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you have what? These are all XLR, huh? So you got 4 of them.
Yeah. No, it's fucking insane. But what is nice is something like this, and I imagine, I wonder if you guys feel the same way with music, is like, at least if you watch something like Rogan or any of the bigger podcasters, you're literally looking at their equipment, at least for the mics.
Yeah.
Right? The mics, the headphones, you're seeing what they're using.
Right.
So a lot of the guesswork is taken out.
Yeah.
Do you guys, like, when you're putting your equipment together, was that kind of how it was?
Hell yeah. You can go on YouTube and look up rig rundown, and it like shows your favorite bands, and like there's interviews of like what pedals they use and like amps and shit. It's
yeah,
cool.
I went to
It's
a
nerdy, but it's
Disturbed
cool.
concert
That's
when they
not
came
nerdy.
here
It's
with.
fucking dope.
It's
dude.
sick, dude.
Yeah, they came here with Breaking Benjamin, and I was like telling the friends that I went with, I was all, most people would just storm like the stage to like go like touch the musician. I'd storm the stage to go start taking all their equipment like, while everyone's all distracted.
Like what pedals are you using?
Yeah, their pedals. I'm taking an amp with me and stuff.
Yep.
Like,
See what their amp's dialed into for their tone.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gets nerdy, for sure.
No, so that's actually an interesting like thing that people don't see behind the scenes, along with like the expenses and all the crazy shit we've talked about. It's like
Yeah.
how much learning went behind creating the sound you guys have? Like
Oh,
how much
fuckload.
learning and experimentation have you guys had to do?
A shitload.
Yeah, and
I
there's
mean,
not a lot
it
of
keeps changing
people-
too.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of people, like even on YouTube, you can go try to look up like what settings to use, what connections you should be making and stuff. And there's not a whole lot of people been putting that stuff out, but it's like their like secret formula.
The
and
secret
stuff.
sauce.
Yeah, that's what Kenny tells us.
What can be hard though, speaking of Kenny, is like when we go to the studio, we're recording with different equipment than what we use to practice and play shows. So like all of a sudden you have different amps, different pedals, different guitars, everything, different drum set. Everything's not our shit. So it's like we gotta like make sure like we have that dialogue with Kenny, like, hey, this sounds cool, but this doesn't sound like us. And so we have to like switch guitars, switch amps, switch pedals, everything.
So why is that? How come you guys can't bring your own stuff to the recording studio then?
We can and we try.
my stuff personally, even though I have a $1,200 bass, it's still too shit to record with.
Kenny
What
has
the
like
fuck?
he's been doing
It's
this
fucked
forever,
up,
so
it's
he has
bad.
preferences. He knows what sounds right, and he has a lot of nice shit, to be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like his stuff, like even though our stuff's nice, his stuff's better. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like he wants to use his,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but we try to use ours. Sometimes he'll let us try ours, and then he'll be like, "Nah, that's not right."
He'll
He'll
do
give
it
us
just to prove us wrong. He'll be all, see, I told you this is gonna sound like shit. Now use my guitar.
yeah.
Okay.
But it is hard though, because you're
Yeah.
used to your sound. You've been practicing for weeks to record this song, right?
Yeah.
And then now it's like, oh, this sounds different now, and you're like, what the fuck? And so it's like, oh shit. I
We
don't,
fucked up.
yeah, I don't want
Wrong.
this to sound wrong. So
So, ballpark.
yeah.
If you could emulate what this guy's making, like his sound, you get the equipment, right?
Yeah.
How much do you think you'd have to spend?
Oh fuck, dude, he's got. Fuck. He's
Like
got.
how much does his equipment cost?
Yeah,
or-
like the instruments. The
Oh,
amp,
he
all
told
that.
us one time. He said
Did
he
he?
has about $1 million.
Yeah, I believe
just
it.
Bases,
But I believe
equipment.
it. It's not like an exaggeration.
Mhm.
You're
No,
right.
he has this like board in here that looks like it's like huge and looks like that alone costed like at least $70K.
So have you seen like documentaries of bands recording in the studios back in the day? Like they have the big mixing boards with all
Right,
like
the full panel.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
full
It's
panel
it's
of the
like
knobs.
a table big.
Yeah, and they're pressed like they're mixing the faders and stuff. So it's like that, but it's all digital.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a big fucking iPad, and it's all digital faders. So he's touching it like he's in the 70s on a mixing console.
But
it's digital.
But
It's
he has
crazy.
he has the zoom all the way up because he's old and he can't see. So it's like you're like grandma with her iPhone. So,
Dude, if you guys got him on the podcast, I bet you guys would talk for like 10 hours.
that dude, he knows a lot of
He's
stuff.
done some shit,
Oh, yeah,
bro.
I'd love to.
Ken Riley.
He's like recorded with Prince, Michael Jackson. I think Nick was
Flea?
talking about it a little bit. Flea.
In Excess.
Yeah.
Hit him up.
Dude, he has a Grammy? He has platinum
I think
records,
he has
that's
a few
for sure.
of ones that he helped produce and mix and stuff. Like
It's crazy because like we're in there and like there's a control room. So it's like this. It's like this area, there's a little couch and like he's got his mixing board and shit. There's a GoPro out to the living room to where you're like recording vocals and drums. So like we're all in there in the chairs listening and he's like recording and like we can see on a TV Nick and like Nevin and Leroy out there doing their takes and shit like through a GoPro. It's cool. It's like we don't have to be out there or anything, but it's not like it's like chill. There's a couch, there's like a little mini fridge. It's fucking sick. He's got like an old Corvette and like motorcycles.
we just go out there and mess with the camera. They'll like go out there, I'll like show a little bit of ass.
Yeah. To the
Just, like,
GoPro.
keep
Yeah.
walking or something.
It's fucking sick.
That's fucking sweet. See, like that.
I love the studio, bro.
That's the goal. Is I would love to buy like no matter which way I end up making my money. I would. I think I've talked to you about this like enough to where you get
Lamborghinis and motorcycles?
nauseated. No, definitely not. I could give a fuck about cars. I'll drive my Civic till it dies, and I'll buy another
Nice.
Civic.
Civics are dope.
Yeah,
It's not long, ladies and gentlemen.
it's not. It's not. Well, because like
fucked up.
because I don't know. No, because I don't know shit about cars. And about
It's not good.
a month and a half ago, my car started making a real rumbling sound, like a scary one.
Yeah.
And because I know my brakes are fucked, or at least one rotor is fucked up. I know about that. And the longer I put it off, the more I'm gonna get fucked. I understand that, and we'll get to it. But
That's a big one.
in the engine itself, there's a rumbling going on. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what the fuck, whatever. But then it got really bad, and I was like, okay, I need my fucking gearhead friends, mainly David, to look at it.
Was it the timing belt?
No. So what it was is I've had this car for like 3 years,
Okay.
I think, and I've put a little over 100,000 miles on it. And again, I don't know shit about maintenance. I'm doing my oil changes, change out my air filters, whatever. But I've never fucking changed out the spark plugs.
Oh.
I've never changed out the ignition coils.
Yeah.
And so I brought it in the garage, and David and Elias,
Spark plugs all corroded.
oh God, they cracked it open, and according to them, it was very lean, whatever the fuck that means. And it got to they were like, how are you not having a check engine light? Because 2 of the 4 cylinders weren't firing.
You had 2 spark plugs out on a 4-banger and you were driving? That's amazing. That's a great car. That's fucking crazy, really.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not even joking. That's crazy.
I
That's
don't know-
cool.
I don't know shit about math, but 2 out of 4 not good.
Yeah, no, not at all. Still going. I'm surprised you could get 40 miles an hour on that Civic. It's fucking
Oh yeah.
wild.
So because like I was perfectly fine in drive,
Yeah.
right? And I was set to cruise, and I was set to cruise control. It would
Yeah.
be fine, a little bit of rumble, but nothing crazy.
Right.
And I just turn the music off and ignore it. But if I put that into sport, it would burn. I'm like, oh shit, can't fucking have that.
Turning the music on, that's the Band-Aid of all car
Yes.
problems. Yeah.
So I went, but the scary part now is I went out, I bought the 4 spark plugs, I bought 2 ignition coils, and that's all I could afford at the time. So we changed all those out, and it was really good for 3 days.
Did you gap them?
Now the rumbling is back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now the rumbling is back. And so I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go out. I'm going to buy 2 more ignition coils, put that shit back in, see if it works.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, I have no idea. We're going to keep puzzle piecing that shit together.
Was his timing belt okay?
I have no idea. I didn't even look.
That'll make some rumbling.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue. And that's why I've got David.
Yeah, there you go.
David's going to go ahead and figure that shit out. And, but anyway, what the fuck was I going to say?
I don't know. That was funny, though.
Yeah. About,
Wanted for the studio.
oh yeah, for the studio. Thank you. So I've talked to you about this like at fucking nauseum, I think. But what I would love to do, no matter how I make my money, is I'd love to fucking just buy out a warehouse. Ooh. Just a good sized warehouse and retrofit that shit to where it's like a solid, like really good podcasting studio, a small gym,
Ooh.
a couple rooms to stay in, a shower area, like so it's like you could live there.
That'd be sweet.
I think that would be fucking sick. Like,
Yeah.
I think big houses are cool, fucking, whatever you want to get, but I think having a warehouse.
That'd be cool too. Like
Would
if
be
you had
sick.
podcast guests, you guys could like for real like kick it all night in that fucking warehouse.
Yeah.
You had beds to sleep in and shit.
Well, because like it blew my mind because I was listening to a podcast it's hosted by Tom Segura and his wife, and they're two stand-up comedians, and they're talking about how they made their. Do you know how much their new podcasting studio costs?
No, but I've seen their episodes. They're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so their new podcasting studio, $110,000.
Damn.
So that's how much money they're making.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah. Sweet.
Right?
Yeah.
Fucking insane.
That's fucking awesome.
And I forget who the other stand-up was. It's kind of like he's famous, but I forget the guy's name. Kind of like a lower level than them. But he's like, yeah, I don't even, like, podcasting's fine, not my favorite, but I just get a couple $100,000 a year from doing it.
I just get a couple $100,000.
Right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about?
That's awesome.
It's insane.
From like endorsements or just like streaming royalties or what?
I would imagine all of the above.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, when you start getting, like, because, you know, it seems like Athletic Greens, Liquid IV, you know, they tend to sponsor a lot of podcasts. But when you start getting sponsors like fucking Traeger grills,
yeah,
you know, that's got to be
you're getting some checks.
Sick
well, that's the
endorsement.
thing is, like, we know what with streaming and everything, how little that's paying. Like, it's all coming from ads. And Jaden, I'm sure most of what she's making is from
from promotions.
Yeah. She was getting like Bud Light, I think, for a little bit.
Bud Light.
Shut the
Dude,
fuck
she's got some.
up.
She gets really big promotions now. A lot of them she can't say what they are. Like they come from an artist management company, so she's like has an NDA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she'll get paid thousands of dollars to do 1, 2, 3 TikToks. And I'm like,
fuck,
bro,
TikToks?
No. She makes bank doing TikTok, bro.
Well, because that's my thing. It's like I've thought and really considered making a TikTok for the podcast. I see how other people
It would
do
probably drive traffic.
and it would.
Yeah.
But also, we were talking about selling out a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Do you think that's
Everything-
selling out for a podcast though?
No, but I don't like the app TikTok.
Oh yeah.
I think the app itself is fucking trash. And
Yeah.
here's why.
Because Vine is dead.
Well, it's the Chinese backing.
Right.
It's the Chinese engineering. Like, well, am I wrong?
No,
Because they're tracking.
I see the slippery slope to conspiracies real quick.
Oh, they
bro,
were just
we
in
almost-
it. They were
you
in
guys-
it.
you guys-
We already
pulling out,
brought
dipping in,
9/11.
pulling out.
Yeah.
We're dipping there.
I love it.
Well, because here's
Get
my
back in.
thing. It's not conspiracy because it's true.
Yeah, it's a
If you
China-owned
look-
company.
If you look at their policies and you look at what you're agreeing to, like the
Yeah.
actual shit. Well, funny side note, PayPal actually has had to redact their brand new policies. You hear about that?
No.
So they did a new update in PayPal. If they found that any of your social media accounts that were attached to the email you use for PayPal, if they found any misinformation, they could that they deemed misinformation, they could automatically redact $2,500 from your account.
Like lying about your birth date.
Anything.
'Cause I do that on every account.
No, like political misinformation.
I just don't like to. Oh no! Really?
What?
So it goes
That's
viral.
so fucked.
So it goes viral, and they pull it out of their policy. But people, the problem is people screenshotted it
Because they put that in
and
the
they
terms and
found
agreements.
it,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, no, that was a. It was. They used to call it a typo. We didn't mean to put that in there.
Yeah.
It's like okay. So let's assume you made the world's worst typo. Okay, first of all,
Which
fine.
is a utter
2-paragraph
fucking
long
lie.
typo.
Which is
Yeah, exactly.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Or
it's
the
bullshit.
second thing is we didn't mean to put that there. Like what? You're gonna do it anyway, but your intern put it in by mistake. He thought into the text, and then now it's there. Now
Right.
we all know.
No.
Fuck off.
We all know that got reviewed
Yeah.
by someone higher up.
Well, that's
yeah.
why they make them so long too, is because no one's gonna sit there
Fuck
and just.
yeah, it's
read
crazy.
through
I was
it
thinking that
anyway.
South Park episode.
With the human centipede.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay, so you know what the human centipede is, right?
Yeah.
So they do that, but it's an iPad.
Sentai Pat. Oh, okay.
So it's like they eat and then they shit out energy for the iPad.
Oh my god.
And they have Kyle in the middle of it, right? Or is it Stan?
I don't remember, but anyways, it's the whole Apple iPhone the terms and agreement,
Yeah.
whatever, and you read it, you sign in without reading it, right? And it comes out if you sign in without reading it, you agree to this experiment of becoming the human centipede, and so they kidnap him.
That sounds like this
yeah,
shit.
and turn him into this. And
That's
this whole thing
fucking
like,
stupid.
yeah,
South
it's
Park
fucking
is
stupid, man.
hilarious.
And so
bro.
they've got Stan in the middle of it, and they go up to him and they're like, "Okay, if you read this terms and condition, you're gonna get released." He's like, "Okay," because his fucking face is so to a man's asshole, right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay." And he fucking scrolls all the way down, press accept. And the guy goes, "No, you just agreed to do this for the rest of your life. Why can't it read?"
That's fuck, dude. They could really get you on some bullshit because no one reads
They
it.
probably already have us on some crazy.
Oh,
bullshit.
dude,
Well,
they have us being
so-
tracked biometrically.
So you go back to TikTok, right?
Yeah.
So TikTok, it tracks
everything on your phone. That was the basis.
Right.
It tracks everything. It's your text messages, your email, social media interactions, your
Photos,
browsing history,
everything.
your pictures, because it wants to perfectly
AI
make
algorithm.
that algorithm for
Yep.
you. So obviously Instagram, the more you interact with a certain type of post, a certain type of hashtag, it'll curate your feed to keep you on the ad or keep you on the app longer. So you see more ads, you buy more things, you mindlessly scroll, what we've been talking about.
Yeah, for
right?
real.
That's where it started. But what TikTok does, it does the same thing. So like, let's say you are on a video and you have to engage with it with a certain amount of seconds. It'll now curate the feed.
Yep.
Okay, great. Then what it does is, let's say you scroll up the video and you peek at the next one, but you don't really like it and you go back down. It now starts to curate based off of that interaction.
Data mining, bro.
If you don't like that one, so we're going to make it completely different
Yep. Yeah.
2 or 3 posts
So
down the line.
Have you seen that on that show on Netflix about this? What's it called? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, it's the social...
It's not the Social Network.
No.
But it's the
Is it a social experiment?
social
No.
dilemma. The
Social dilemma.
Is that what it is?
I think that is.
Something like that.
Yeah.
If that's not it,
Yeah.
it's something like that. It's
I've
fucked,
seen
huh?
that one,
It's
yeah.
about what we've been talking about.
Well, and what's really fucked about that documentary is it's not just a bunch of people talking out of their ass. It's a bunch
People
of
that work there.
It's people that
Right.
worked at
Facebook
Google,
engineers.
Twitter, yeah, all that shit.
And they split test everything a billion different ways to know how addicting it's going to be and what's going to make conversions and make you click. It's
like
scary, dude.
Like,
It's
what's her
scary.
face that came out on 60 Minutes?
oh, the whistleblower.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whistleblower. Well,
Oh, yeah.
the big thing about her was that she exposed. Let me finish my part about TikTok, because now what TikTok does is not doesn't only mine data from your device.
Yeah.
No, if you connect to a private Wi-Fi, not a public, but a private Wi-Fi. So let's say someone in this house, David, has TikTok and uses it a ton.
Yeah.
He has now given permission to TikTok to data mine from every device connected to the Wi-Fi. Yes, it is. I've read it.
That's not how it works, bro.
What is this voice from the heavens?
What the fuck was that? That was hilarious.
Spoken like a real TikTok user, you know?
Hey, bro.
Well, that's what's shitty about like the social dilemmas, because like the guys from work made me watch that one time, and after they're like, "So now do you still want to have all your social media?" And I was all, "Yeah." I was like still on
God
TikTok
damn
and everything. Like it didn't do anything. It's weird. That's just how invested we are.
No, it's scary. And I got off of social media for a bit during the pandemic because,
Yeah.
again, we were all locked up. I was down in Texas, locked the fuck up. And it was right when the George Floyd riots kicked off.
Yeah.
And I felt my anxiety just fucking soaring.
Right.
And I was like, nope, I can't do this. Not going to do it. Deleted everything. And I
Yeah.
felt good, too.
Good, because that
It's like-
shit
it's-
was
it's like
hard
the
to be on
pandemic
social
ended for
media
me.
for. There was so much hate going back and forth between people. And it was like, damn, man, like,
Well,
it's rough. Another reason I got off social media, I don't like to know everyone's opinions on everything. You know what I mean? Most people don't put a lot of thought into their opinions either. They just say what their news said this morning. And I don't want to hear everyone's fucking griping and yelling and hating at people on every single issue all day, because there's a billion issues all day. You know what I mean? And you see everyone's Instagram stories about this and that, and it just makes you angry at the end of the day. You've seen too many damn opinions for one day.
it's
We get
supposed-
more news in one day than people probably got in a year,
It's
50 years
supposed
ago.
it's what gets clicks, and it's supposed to make you angry or horny. And that's how they keep you.
Yep, it's true.
And let's be honest, let's call a spade a spade. TikTok, what is that?
Yeah.
It's half memes and half naked women.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
It is.
And you know what? If you make a fuck ton of money off of it, more power to you. God fucking bless.
No wonder we're not doing good on TikTok. We're not naked. And
Oh,
we're not
yes.
angry.
I know.
So again,
We don't have
like,
That's what it
ass.
is.
We need to start showing some ass.
I know,
That's
fuck.
all we got to do.
So yeah, like I've thought about using TikTok because I know like if I did it right, put a half a lick of interest into it and really like tried, I'm sure I would get a bigger exposure.
Yeah.
Because you see TikToks all the time that randomly pop off, get a couple 100,000, get 1 million views.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't, and I've talked so much shit about TikTok. I don't know if I want to go to that yet.
Well, there you go. You know what I mean? Because they'll find that clip and they'll put it on TikTok.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But to be fair, it seems like you're getting a lot of organic growth just on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
It
I'm
seems like it.
definitely trying.
For a podcast, because like you were saying with the, I don't know if it was Side Montero's podcast or the one with Nick and Leroy, but you were saying like a 2-hour commitment's a long commitment for most people.
yeah.
But like, think about it. If you're having people who are listening to a 2-hour, like you have hundreds of views on a lot of videos, you have a couple with 1,000. If you have people listening
Shocking.
to 2 or 3 hour video about Albuquerque local stuff going on for hours, that's a good start.
Yeah.
That's a really low click-through rate. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
And what what boosted my confidence a bit was a podcast I'm starting to listen to. Is this bodybuilder that I've been following since like we were in high school, Bradley Barton. Have you ever heard of him?
Yo, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So he has a really good podcast.
Wait, you said Bradley Martin?
Mm-hmm. The
Yeah.
guy used to be on like the Bro Science
Yeah,
videos.
hell
and
yeah,
all that.
yeah.
So he has a podcast called Raw Talk. And it's
Yeah.
really good.
And he's always fucking with the Nelk boys and shit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And he said something. He was like, look, even my average videos, they'll get 8 to 20 minutes of playtime.
Yeah.
And then they'll click through. It's like, okay, so if this guy is only getting 8 to 20 minutes, I am more than satisfied because I think my average is 6.
Right.
So it's like,
Damn.
if mine is 6 minutes on a 2-hour long thing, and that's like them looking like 30 seconds here, a minute here, whatever, like kind of like going through, I'm happy.
And some people watch the full 2-3 hours. You know what I mean? Which is cool. And that's got to be like, you could take that two ways. You could be like, oh, I put in all this work for a 3-hour video and my click-through rate is 6 minutes. Or you could be like, yeah, Bradley Martin gets 8 and I get 6. That's a good way to look at it.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And the other part of it too that we were talking about earlier was I love doing this.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like the hardest work behind it is just sitting down, doing the editing, doing like the
Oh,
little
yeah.
promotion that I do.
Yeah.
This is the easiest part.
Oh, this is nice. Yeah,
This is
fun.
Yeah,
This is fun as hell. I'm
By
having a great time.
far the easiest
Yeah.
part. Any job you can do mildly successfully while drunk, easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. We're all on the same page then because that's what we do.
Like, and I was joking with some of them about this about a couple weeks ago. Was if when we decide to do a podcast all together like we
Yeah.
have in the past, and we get hammered, we ain't gotta worry about a DD.
No.
We live here.
Yeah, that's dope.
I can get plastered and fall asleep right there.
Yep.
And it's completely fine.
Yep.
And that's just a great fucking convenience. And like, that's why I want a warehouse.
Yeah.
That's
and,
why
and then you have that gym in that warehouse, like you were saying in the morning. You work right off that hangover.
Well, and again, like it's he makes buku bucks, but like fucking Rogan has a full gym, an archery center. He talks about having like 5 cold plunges, bunch of saunas,
and his deal
shit.
with Spotify was something ridiculous, right?
100 million. That's what pushed me to do this.
$100 million.
It wasn't the money. It was the fact that
There's demand.
someone got a demand for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Is that somebody got $100 million to do this during a pandemic?
Yeah.
When there was no money going around.
Yeah.
Nobody was making movies. Nobody's making TV shows. I mean, Law and Order, they continued doing their TV show 8 months after the lockdown started. And have you seen those episodes that came out during the fucking pandemic? Right? Dude, the cast members were wearing masks in the episodes.
That's fucking bullshit.
To emulate the real world.
Yeah, that's fucking gay.
Right? It's
But-
like, okay.
To be fair, like one of these videos, it might have been the Side Montero or Nick and Leroy one. I don't remember, but you were talking about how like Albuquerque's going through like a little bit of a renaissance right now with like the art and music culture and stuff. And you're the one documenting that on podcast, right? So like we're all
That's the
starting out
hope.
the same spot, but if we all grow, it could snowball pretty big eventually
See that
for everyone.
And I've thought about that. Where it's like, there's a lot of these people that I've spoken with and I've talked to, you guys included now.
Yeah.
It's like, I know they're gonna make it. I know for a fact they're going to. One way or another, they're gonna make it if they keep doing what they're doing. They can all fuck up because they're all human and whatever. But like, when those guys make it, I'm like, yeah, I talked to them when they were playing fucking local shit.
Yeah.
I got to see
You were there.
And that's a privilege I have that I never thought I would. Because I get to see a lot of these people in their genesis.
Yeah.
Like a real good friend of mine, Thomas, his rap stage name's Notorious T. I've known him since we were in fucking middle school.
Oh shit.
And because he unfortunately he just got involved in a drive-by at a studio. He's recovering from getting shot, and he's still making music. The motherfucker.
What was that here?
It's like
Yeah.
Tupac, bro. He's like Tupac.
Yeah, it was down at fucking Red Gorilla Studios.
What the?
And yeah, him and some 16-year-old girl got shot.
I got shot at a few months ago too. Thankfully, I didn't get shot. So fuck, that sucks really bad. I hope he's all right.
What's his recovery is gonna be a long one, but he's still the minute he started walking again, he's writing music,
That's dope.
recording.
That's inspiring.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I see stuff like that, and it's like there's no excuse.
No,
There's no excuse.
Yeah.
There's quite literally no fucking
this
excuse.
man literally took lead.
Yeah.
and he's fucking writing songs.
No, it's insane.
It's crazy.
And to be able to see all of this and to be like, I really do think post-pandemic, there was a renaissance of art in this city. And
felt it.
you put it perfectly. Like, I feel like I am being able to document this.
Yeah.
As much as cool as it is to sit down with artists and do shit like that, I also get to like, this has been a small, now that we're more or less becoming like sentient adult human beings with like responsibilities and jobs.
We are,
and,
though.
You know, shit like that.
Yeah.
I want to do this until the fucking wheels fall off. But like, if this goes on for 5 years, Lord forbid if it goes on 10 years, I get to look back at like, okay, I started this when I was fucking. God, when did I start this? When I was like 23, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 23 when I started this. So now, as it's carrying on, now if I make it to fucking like 32, 35, I get to look back like, okay, this is where we started.
Right.
Because when we did our first episode, it was so bad. Well, I didn't know how much money else was going to cost. I had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
So I'm over here like, yo, I'm going to budget myself 100, 150.
No,
how far am I
fuck,
going to get? The cameras that
Yeah,
we
one
bought.
cable, one XLR.
Yeah.
One XLR, please.
The cable or I got 2 cameras off of eBay.
Yeah.
They were $20 each.
Oh, terrible.
They literally came in a white box that said video
terrible.
camera. Yeah, the box said video camera. It was like in the back of some Chinese warehouse.
Oh, shit.
And a buddy of mine, talking about having really good friends, a buddy of mine who lived out in L.A., he lives in Phoenix now because him and his fiancée got fed up with L.A. He does coding, makes music, he does a lot of producing, all that kind of shit, right? I approached him to like do the graphics, but he's like, no, I'll produce it for you. Like, I'll get you started, help you get started, do your producing.
Is that the guy that made your logo?
Mm-hmm.
I heard this on one of your other episodes.
Yeah.
See, I've been standing your shit, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks,
doing
man.
my homework, bro.
Thanks, dude. And I send him the fucking footage.
Yeah.
First of all, if you have a video file that you can send to somebody over Drive, it's probably not a good one.
Right.
All right.
A couple megabytes because
right.
they won't do it.
Yeah, A. And B, because I think it was like, 3 hours of footage on these cameras is like anywhere between 65 to 90 gigs. Yeah.
To 90 gigabytes?
Yeah.
Holy.
Our first episode on one camera was like 2 gigs.
What the fuck? You need like a full-on hard drive with a fan.
Oh yeah. So I sent him the footage, and he goes like 4 days later. He goes, all right, dude, listen, man.
It's like, he tried.
Yeah, he's like, yo,
3 days.
We can't use this. And I'm like, what, did I say something bad? I thought I said something stupid, right? I'm like fucked up, like it's something offensive. Like, no, dude, like, listen, you sent me the audio's great because the mics were shitty, but they were still like okay enough.
But the video quality.
Yeah, but he's like, dude, I had to pause, chop, and align. It took me 4 hours to do that for 15 seconds.
Oh.
The frame
that's
rate,
brutal, bro.
the frame rate was like 15 frames a second. The footage came out orange.
What?
It came out orange.
And it was probably a couple hours worth of footage.
It was
you
a
said?
snuff film.
Oh my god.
It was so bad. So he goes, listen, man, you're going to stop now. You're going to stop doing video. And you're going to get your shit together, and you're going to find cameras, and you're going to fucking... you'll take care of video later. The audio we can salvage.
Yeah.
So he mixed the audio, mastered
And
it,
you put the audio
updated,
out?
and we put the audio. Well, because the first episode is all audio. Yeah. It's all audio.
Okay.
And it's like, you got to get your shit together and get some good cameras.
Yeah.
Because you cannot continue. Like, physically, you can't continue.
Yeah.
Because it was so bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
You said 4 hours to edit 15 seconds of synchronizing the audio to the
Yes.
video. Oh my god.
Yeah, so the fact, good
I'm
friend.
surprised he didn't kill himself.
Yeah, obviously, like, good friend to sit there for 4 hours.
To eventually tell you, hey, bro, I'm sorry. This fucking is ass.
But, no, it's just, yeah, it's interesting, like, the learning process. A lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
And also what I learned too is like, 'cause I could have gotten like really good mics for like $150 or so, $90, $150. But what's nice about these, like those ones specifically, if you look at the back of it, they have these little knobs, right? And those knobs do mastering in the mic.
Like live mastering?
They do it for you.
That's cool.
It's
Yes.
like a little EQ thing. or
Exactly.
something, or-
EQ, exactly.
And
So
like probably a compressor too. Huh?
yeah,
That's
so
cool.
it changes it, and that's why you need to aim your voice directly at the front of it, because you can hear it, because like talk directly into it,
What's up?
Hey.
talk in the same direction,
What's up?
you hear
Oh
it,
yeah.
right? You
Yep.
hear it.
Yep.
And so what's nice is like, even sometimes like they'll be like watching TV or whatever it is, and you'll hear some of the audio, but if I just tweak it here and there in my editor, it won't come in because it's not hitting directly in the front.
Got you.
Which is super fucking nice.
Got you.
Like, speaking about Michael Jackson a little earlier, these are the mics. They've been around for like 50 fucking years, 40 years. This is what he recorded Thriller on.
Fuck, are you
damn.
serious?
Yeah.
These type of mics? Sure. They're called Shure mics?
SM7B.
SM7Bs recorded Thriller.
Yep, and then
Holy
these are
moly.
the MV7s. So what's cool about these?
That's kind of crazy, actually.
So this one has a couple other like knobs at the bottom. So this is really good for like streaming and shit.
Yeah.
So I've had to do a couple episodes over Zoom. I've had to do a couple. I did one on Twitch. That was a lot of fun. And so this hooks right into the fucking.
How much
computer.
is one of these SM7-8s?
So doing the mic by itself,
Yeah.
like $450.
So when he recorded Thriller,
Yeah.
that shit was probably thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
For these mics. 'Cause
Yeah.
If you have Quincy Jones producing you, you probably
Right.
have the most bougie mics.
Because it has some magic in it. So
Yeah.
that's an upcharge right
And this is
there.
like, that's cool. That's not $5,000 anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's great is now
It's
like
good quality.
You got to save some money and I had some help buying these. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't fucking buy all this shit by myself.
Cool.
I had some fucking help.
Yep.
I have no shame admitting that.
Right.
But the fact that like they're not thousands of dollars anymore, that
Yeah.
the average guy can, if you really want to, can get your hands on some.
If you have the drive to really do it, you can get them.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I think about the quality over time too.
Yeah.
Like when did Thriller come out?
1980.
I want to say 84.
1984.
What's that Siri? When did Thriller come out? 82.
82.
82.
Yeah, and the
So-
quality
okay.
over it's so fucking however many years that is from 82 to 22.
Yeah.
Fucking quality is still that good.
Yeah.
40 years.
That's a
Quality.
Yeah. Holy moly.
40 on the dot.
Wow. Damn. That's dope. That's a good ROI right there.
Speaking of Michael Jackson,
I love Michael Jackson.
how crazy is it that documentary came out? Did you watch Finding Neverland?
No, I never watched it,
Leaving
bro. I didn't want to
Neverland?
ruin my off-the-wall record for myself because I love that
I
record.
envy you.
I can't watch it, bro.
Like, there's a great stand-up, Andrew Schultz, and he had a bit about this, and I agree with him.
Yeah.
Not to, I don't want to ever steal somebody's lines, but like, I envy you. You get to walk around in bliss,
Yeah, dude.
not knowing that Michael Jackson shoved his nose,
Yeah.
this a little boy's asshole
stop,
to lick it.
stop. That's why I couldn't do it, bro.
We got like what one episode in, 40 minutes.
Both of us, yeah, because they did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
They
we
did
got
it.
like halfway
can't know
through and
this,
it came
bro.
out. And we were like, we can't watch this anymore. It's fucking.
Well, because like
It's awful.
the entirety of the. Have you seen the documentary?
Yeah.
Oh my god! So the entirety of it, at least the first part. I don't know what
Yeah.
happens in the second part, and I never will.
Yeah.
But that first hour and 20 minutes or
That
so,
bad?
dude, they've got the two kids that are coming out, or they're adults now, but they're coming out and they're saying, like, this is what Michael Jackson did to us, this is what, like, how the coercing process was, all this shit. It's literally, like, they show B-roll footage of, like, the recording studio of Neverland Ranch, they show pictures, journal entries, you know, shit like that, interviews
Yeah.
with the parents. And the parents, they're getting interviewed in their homes, right? So it's a little more quaint, a little more, like, familial and, you know, nice to look at. The kids, out of the guys on the other hand, they're like in a fucking Holiday Inn bedroom. So it's already like,
Yeah.
you taking them back to the scene of the crime, bro? Like, that's kind of fucked up.
I couldn't do it, bro.
And they're staring right at the camera and they're like, Michael Jackson licked my asshole. And it's like, bro.
Well, that's what's
That's
like.
so terrible,
That's what's
bro.
fucked up is because everyone knew like what he was doing, but no one wanted to admit it just because of who he was.
Oh, the parents would
It's
trip me
like-
out, dude. Like,
Yeah.
how blissfully ignorant like you had to be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson just wants to hang out with my 7-year-old son.
Right.
Like-
Well,
Come on.
And
man.
that's,
like,
that's the
What?
thing where I think
Be a-
social media comes into play too, is because like everyone probably thought that stuff was normal, or no one ever really got together and was like,
No one knew
hey,
about it.
this shit happened to me. Like they didn't even know like molestation should even happen.
And again, to play devil's advocate, though, they had that whole court case about it. And people were like, no, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And then he got acquitted.
Right.
So it's like, okay, maybe he's not doing it. Because again, to take it a little further, and now that we know the history of the Jackson 5, we know what Joe Jackson did to these kids. He chemically castrated Michael.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he chemically castrated Michael to keep that high pitch in his voice so he could be super famous.
Yeah.
Like, what? And then what? He literally locked, like, he would fuck with the other 4 Jacksons.
Right.
But Michael was, like, straight up brutalized. Like, he
Right.
was locked in a furnace, apparently, at one point.
Really?
Yeah, he would lock him in a full-size furnace when he was, like, 7 years old as a punishment. He would lock him in a basement as a 16-year-old. Like, what the fuck does that do to your mental psyche? So, like, let's say he's under, because Joe Jackson managed him for a bit in the beginnings of his career. Outside of the Jackson 5. So what does that do to your brain when you're getting the fuck kicked out of you by your business partner / father, right?
Since you were a little
Kid, right?
Very little.
So now it's normalized, and you think that it's like my reward system is either oh, I'm going to do good so he doesn't do that, or he's doing it because he loves me. Mixture of the two, whatever, right? So you have that going on in your head.
Twisted.
And then you're going to turn around and play for hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, right? And you're going to go around and get that, again, a positive feedback loop. It's like, okay, well, I have to go through this bullshit so I can produce this and get that. Like, that's
most child celebrity stories, though. Like, even the ones we grew up seeing on, like, Nickelodeon and Disney, like Ariana Grande, Jen McCurdy, all of them, they have all those same stories.
I'm glad my mom is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
It was happening.
Crazy,
like,
dude.
being a child celebrity, I feel like, is one thing that will fuck you up for the rest of your
Who
life.
makes it out of that okay?
Is there any examples?
I mean, Ariana Grande hasn't said anything, but I bet you she's been going through some shit.
Dude, I'm sure and behind the
Bieber,
scenes, he had that whole thing where he went crazy for a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I bet
With
Ariana,
the Brazilian hooker.
yeah, Brazilian hookers peeing in public, bought a monkey. Like that dude went nuts for a little
You gotta
bit.
think, he was probably like the age we were in 6th grade when he was first had millions of dollars.
Yeah.
6th grade. And a shitload of girls at 6th grade, like a ridiculous amount for a 6th grade.
Like
brain.
you're peaking so early.
Yeah.
But then he continued to peak,
Yeah.
which is insane.
That
and
is
then,
crazy.
Well, because I don't know. I think like what does that do? I mean, we see what it does now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because all these we bring up Jet McCurdy,
Right.
How fucked over she got by her mom. What that whole Dan Schneider incident, how he was treating the females on that cast. Like it's just fucking strange.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I mean, you can make jokes all you want about Dan Snyder and feet, but I mean, like, it's just weird, fucking strange how you can be okay with that. Like, oh my god, I saw a meme about it. I didn't think it was real, and I looked it up, and it is. You've all seen Toy Story 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've ever seen Toy Story 2?
No, I have. I'm just waiting for you to finish. What you
okay, for me to ruin Toy Story 2.
No, you're starting out
coming,
Toy Story 2, so it's gonna be fucked up.
So, and now we're all in a post Harvey Weinstein environment. We all know what happened.
Movement.
We've heard Gwyneth Paltrow
Yep.
fucking talk out about it. Brad Pitt backed her up. All that shit. Next time we watch Toy Story 2, stay for the credits. There's a part where it's all like obviously it's not fucking real, but they all animated the characters to be like real actors or real people in the movie industry, and they're like doing bloopers, right? So it's cute, it's funny, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a part where Woody and Bo Peep are talking.
Okay.
Or no, Woody and Jesse, because it's the scene where it's just before Buzz and the toys come to rescue Woody.
Okay.
Right? And they're going through the grates and they're fighting Zurg and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And but on the other side of that, Woody, Prospector Pete, Bullseye, Jesse, they're all like in the collection room, right? And it's so fucked up.
Uh-oh. I don't remember.
There's a part where the camera goes to Woody and Jesse and they're talking, they're bullshitting, and it pans really fast to like do like a caught off guard thing to Prospector Pete. He's in his storage box, right? His collector's box. And he's talking to two of the Barbies. And he goes,
seen that.
And he goes, hey, I could probably get you a part in Toy Story 3. Whoa, are we recording? I know that we were shooting. Are we back on? Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Oh fuck, man.
So it's like, okay.
And like as an innocent mind, you don't think anything of that.
Well,
You're just like, ha.
That's most kid TV shows and movies. You watch them again, they're like, what the?
We'll take it a step
shit.
forward.
Yeah.
Take it a step forward, right? The adults that are watching that are like, wow, they went there. Oh, that's funny. Take it a step further. People had to write, animate, produce, approve, and put that in a Pixar movie. So they all knew that was happening.
For kids.
Yeah.
Like, when did Toy Story come out? 97? 96?
The first one.
The second one. Because the first one came out in like 92, 93.
Did it come out that early?
Yeah, it was early 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at the second one.
So, yeah, the second one came out in like 96, 97-ish, maybe even 98.
Toy Story 2.
So the fact that, and that's at like,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was like 2000.
I thought it was in the 2000s. No, 99.
99.
99.
Thank you.
Still.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
So still, right?
Right.
This is, the 90s were owned by two people, Tarantino
True.
and the Weinstein brothers.
True.
And the Weinstein brothers produced all of Tarantino's movies, right? So they got their hands into that. Weinstein Company also went into Dimension, and Dimension made all the movies we love from the early 2000s, like the Final Destination movie specifically, right? That was the hallmark of their production company.
Yeah.
So if you were sitting in a theater and the Weinstein Company came up, you knew you were going to sit through a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Because they knew, credit where it's due, They knew how to make good movies.
Yeah.
They knew how to pick the right talent. What they did with that talent, pretty fucking questionable.
Right.
But my point is here is that everyone knew that was happening.
Yeah.
To the point where they made jokes about it in a kid's animated movie.
They always tell you what they're doing, bro, in plain sight.
Yeah.
That's
Because
really
they think it's
sad.
funny. They get like that God complex from it. So
Like, no one's gonna touch us.
Yeah.
Can't get in trouble.
Put it in a fucking Toy
Yeah.
Story
What are they
movie.
gonna do?
Yeah, or just flexing
That's
on it
pretty
a little
fucking
bit.
sick, though.
Yeah.
Like in a nasty way. That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
I don't know exactly. Again, I saw that as a meme, and I was like, versus like the picture and like the title or the subtitles. Like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's some
fucked
real
up,
shit,
bro.
That's what's cool about
That's
us being
sad. I
like
hate that kind of shit.
Us being like a grassroots thing is we'll never have to
That's true.
suck some dick for like, like a record label
Yeah,
or
we know how we
something
can write
like
our
that.
own songs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Knock on wood, right?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I'm knocking on this wood. I know for a fact.
I'm not sucking a dick. I'm not sucking a dick.
We're saying it right now.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's for sure, bro. You can't make me do it.
You can see he's
I'll
determined.
quit.
He's not sucking dick.
Nope. I don't even gotta knock on the fucking wood.
Well, on that note, listen, it was fucking great having you guys.
Yes,
in
sir.
here.
Thanks for having us, man. That
Yeah.
was fun.
It was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys coming in on kind of last minute. We've been planning this for a couple weeks.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But this has been a fucking blast.
Hell yeah.
Absolute blast. And I'd love to have you guys back anytime.
Hell yeah, man. We'd love to.
Yeah, and I wish you guys all the fucking success in the world.
Awesome. You
I
too,
mean,
man.
what you guys got going is a really good thing.
Thank you.
And I think, speaking openly about the great things, but also the not so great things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Speaking openly about that, I hope anyway that this makes it somebody who's going through that, makes it somebody who's even thinking about starting it. It's like, okay, we're not the only ones,
Right.
Right? They're going through it. We're not the only ones that are having these problems, but there is another side to it.
Mm-hmm.
And on one of those sides was that great fucking Marvel show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great time. More of those to come.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
for
Lots
sure.
more.
That was a great. Like I came back from that show and they looked at me like I was a fucking madman. Like, what has he been doing for the last couple of hours?
Hell yeah. That's
fucking-
great.
That was a great time.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's
So-
how it slowly spreads, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, it was a great time, dude. What do you guys, before we close out of here, what do you guys have coming up? Do you have any new shows? I know you guys are going out of town to Arizona.
We play in Tucson, St. Philip's Plaza, October 22nd.
Sweet.
And we have the 19th at Eclipse.
Yeah, we're doing
It's a Wednesday show. but
charity show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the
There's some
details.
Colorado band there.
That's sick.
Cool.
Yep.
I don't think songs. We're about to start.
And then we have a new song out right now called Start Moving,
Yeah.
which is on Spotify. And it's actually just jumped to our #1 song right now.
And it's a great song.
Thank you.
It's a great song.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so it's doing good. So stream that shit.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about it right now.
All right, well, thank you guys
Yeah,
again.
thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
this is
it.
a
That was
fucking
awesome.
pleasure.
It was nice seeing you guys again.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, high school reunion happened out of nowhere.
I know. It
Thank you
always
for joining
happens.
in.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Hell
Sit
yeah.
around, talk some shit for
Oh,
a
I
second.
feel like I'm like I can hear. It's weird.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All
Bye,
right,
everybody.
man. Thank you.